The main character is seen as the weakest loser in class, but during the physical test, he manages to lift hundreds of reps with a 100-kilogram weight, shocking the other students. They were stunned on the spot, but when he moved to the elite class, he was looked down upon. The so-called top genius challenged him, and the main character only threw a single punch. This left him unable to fight back, which made the main character a bit disappointed because he hadn't even warmed up, and this power also shocked the principal. He vowed to use all the school's resources to plead with the main character to represent the school in the upcoming competition, revealing that the main character had reincarnated into this body. This is a world filled with magical creatures where strength reigns supreme and humans constantly face the threat of these creatures. Thus, the strong represent wealth and status, but the original owner had only fallen into debt. Hundreds of millions had been sacrificed, both soul and body, to the Dark God, but from this moment on, he was no longer the original owner of this body, but the soul of the main character, who was working overtime for the capitalists, so he had no idea what the Dark God in front of him was all about. The Dark God said that these tiny humans were not worthy of knowing of his existence. You just need to know that the former owner used his body and soul to take out a loan. His soul has been taken by me, but the body that originally belonged to me is now occupied by the main character, who just realized he had crossed over into a little brat, causing him to feel a wave of fear that made him want to run away immediately. However, the contract had been signed, and those who violate the contract are met with ruthless punishment. Seeing the main character burning with anger and screaming, the Dark God found it quite boring. "You're just a weak soul. You should just die." But at that moment, the main character suddenly spoke up, saying that, according to the contract, since he couldn't resist, the other party could waive responsibility if he was disturbed now. The inability to fulfill the contract is your responsibility, so you can't use this excuse to kill me. For the first time, the Dark God was threatened by a human, a mere mortal. "Do you really want to teach me the rules?" The main character was engulfed in flames, but remained very clear-headed. He knew that while the Dark God could easily take his life, he chose not to. This showed that you were probing for a suitable candidate, so now I am qualified to sign a new contract with you. This made the Dark God laugh heartily. "Interesting, you are the first to dare to negotiate terms with me. You've piqued my interest, kid." Then, in front of the main character, a new contract appeared, this time from the Dark God. "I've made my decision. If you can fulfill one of my wishes, I will grant you a new destiny, and my wish is for an additional 999 new wishes. Amazing good job. I must remind you of one thing. You don't have much time to think. In about a minute, you will lose consciousness and die." The main character at this point didn't care. If he wanted to live, he just had to agree. "I've heard you out, boss." But just as the contract was signed, the Dark God vanished, allowing the main character to do as he pleased, while occasionally throwing out a playful request. So the main character followed his memories and went home. In his mind, he still thought that this boss was really strange. Oh, he didn't consider himself a workhorse like those capitalists from his past life. After entering the house, he found that the original owner's family situation was worse than he thought, surrounded by loan shark papers. However, he hadn't even had time to think further. He was lightly tapped on the head by a guy hiding in the bushes. "Where the hell have you been? How dare you not answer my calls? You really must be tired of living." The guy next to him added, "Don't kill him, okay? Even if he has the sturdy body of an awakened one, be gentle." The main character still couldn't remember who they were. "Who are you guys? The debt collector. One of you kicked me again. You forgot that you hadn't been paid back last week. Are you on drugs or something? Where's that old woman who used to sell her blood to pay off debts? Did she die or something? It's kind of funny. Your mom really is that clueless. You don't even value your life for a loser like you. But who would have thought trash will always be trash? You really think you'll turn your life around?" In a flash, the main character's mind drifted back to a childhood memory of talking to his mom. Last night, he dreamt a dream where his mom was always crafting until she was too tired to stay awake. He couldn't wake up anymore. He didn't want his mom to be like that. What if she never wakes up again? What if he really can't become a better person? But his mother gently reassured him, "It's okay, my little angel. Even if the sky falls, I can handle it." At that moment, the main character suddenly felt a surge of power within him, and with just one strike, he sent that debt collector flying. The other guy, hearing the commotion, told him to take it easy, But the one being knocked away wasn't the main character. It was one of their own. This wasn't right. This wasn't the energy they expected. Could it be that this kid has broken through to the next level? The other two immediately released their energy ready to attack, but the main character easily outplayed them. They hurriedly knelt down, pleading, "We were just following orders." It was Lam Vu. He sent us here. The main character said he would pay off the debt and told him not to bother him again. Get those guys out of here right now. After confirming the three had left the house, the main character then asked, "You're watching the atmosphere, right, boss?" Then a torn book appeared in front of him. "Not bad. You can sense my presence. Your intuition is quite sharp." The main character said earlier there was a very strange force, so he guessed it was the Dark God's help. The Dark God admitted, "If it weren't for me lending you my strength, you'd probably be turned into mush by now. You should be grateful." The main character happily replied, "Boss, you really are my golden finger. If you can keep lending me your strength, won't I be able to strut around?" But the Dark God's power isn't something just anyone can use. What happened earlier was just good luck. It didn't push you to your limits, or else we wouldn't need to step in. You blew up too, huh? The main character was confused. "I'm just working for you, and there's not even a bit of goodwill. If I could be stronger, wouldn't it be easier to fulfill your wishes?" But the Dark God just closed his eyes. "Don't worry. According to the contract, I'll grant you a little reward. But I haven't thought it through yet. And don't think about borrowing my strength again unless you want to die faster." However, the main character made the Dark God quite happy. This kid was beyond his expectations. Not only did he borrow power, but his control was also relatively stable. Could this kid be the turning point of his fate? At this moment, the main character asked if the Dark God had thought about his second wish yet. The Dark God hadn't thought of it yet. "Don't worry, I've wished for quite a few things already. When the time comes, you'll understand." The main character hurriedly asked, "So what should I do now?" The Dark God replied, "Who cares? Do whatever you want." The main character originally intended for the Dark God to set a wish so he could have some goals, but it seemed he shouldn't expect much. He didn't know anything about this world, but there was too much to learn. For now, he checked the phone of the original host. Later, he would have to replace him to continue living, so he needed to understand the situation. But his phone was filled with loan apps, making it seem like he needed to spend a lot of money. There was no news about his family, but at this moment, he saw a single message from his family sent last night saying that his mother had been hospitalized. But when the main character arrived at the hospital, it was already dark. He only saw a woman sitting silently by the hospital bed. He felt the awkward atmosphere, but realized it was understandable to forget something so important. It would make anyone angry. This woman must be the sister of the original owner, Chun Guitin, so the one in the hospital was his mother, but she looked completely different from his memories. Could it all be because of me? Then the main character spoke up. "I'm sorry, sister, I'm late. How's Mom?" But the answer he received was, "What excuse will you use this time? Were you busy training, or were you occupied with your spirit summoning? Before Mom fainted, she worked hard to earn money to pay off your debts. Why? Why didn't you visit her even once she gave you everything? Our family gave you everything you know. To pay off your debts, Mom even didn't have money for cancer treatment. She was holding on with sheer willpower and almost lost her life. Do you know that?" After venting her anger, she looked up and said, "I'm sorry, little god. Mom and I are both very tired now. This is your living expenses for half a year. From now on, Mom will be taken care of by me, and it has nothing to do with you anymore. You will pay off your debts yourself. It has nothing to do with us anymore. From now on, we will have no relationship." After that, the main character left the hospital, but the Dark God felt his weakness. "Did that woman hit you hard? She treats you like a stranger. Moreover, it's not your fault." The main character was surprised that the Dark God even knew how to comfort him. "It's okay. It's just that she reminds me of the past when I was like this." Clearly wanting to say something, but unable to speak, the Dark God, feeling indifferent, closed his eyes. "Just don't mess up my wishes." But suddenly the main character changed the subject and said, "I just need to prove my worth, and that will make me stronger, right? As long as I become strong enough, I can make up for everything, right?" The Dark God was silent for a moment, and then replied, "Of course, kid, the premise is that you can demonstrate your value." Then he looked at this main character's figure and pondered, "Fate, huh? The next day, news of the main character beating up some debt collectors reached the boss, but he not only didn't bring people to cause trouble, he also ordered punishment for those subordinates. Trash that doesn't follow the rules, but the subordinates said the situation was a bit special. Those debt collectors were level 2 and 3, and defeating them was a student who had just broken through to level 2. The boss immediately became suspicious and raised his hand to check information about the main character. This kid just reached level 2. How could he defeat both level 2 and level 3 at the same time? Even the weakest level 3 should be able to take down 10 level 2s. Such a huge power gap. You can't rely on skills to make up for this guy's real strength. He could be level 3. You want to hide your true strength, huh? Interesting. Observing him, I can't let such talent go to waste. Just as I was about to head out, my neighbor called me back. You've been getting up early these past few days. I've stocked up on a large amount of high-grade tonic, just 400 for a bottle. Do you need any? The main character declined. Sorry, I still have a few bottles left that I haven't used. I'll look for you after winter. He glanced back at the figure leaving. The uncle felt that he had opened up a lot more than before and even thought he might have a girlfriend. In fact, since the main character left the hospital, it took him a few days to adjust to his body and gather personal information. With 2 streams of memories merging, he roughly understood the pleasures of this world. The people in this world. They often use special tonics to gain strength. These people are called illusionists, and the tonics are extremely expensive. This is also the reason why the original owner was in so much debt. Although I don't know how much stronger they become. One thing is for sure, the physical quality of illusionists is much greater than that of ordinary people. At that moment, his phone rang. After answering, he heard the voice of the class monitor. You took a few days off, but it's over now. The teacher told me to specifically call you to class. I called you last night. Did you really forget? He scratched his head and said he didn't forget, but in reality, he really did. After that, he went to school where the teacher was lecturing about the effects of the economy on illusionists, and the main character was attentively taking notes below. The status of illusionists is determined by strength and distinguished by titles. One must reach the highest level of their current rank to break through to a new title. I've heard that those who reach rank S are almost like deities. To match the strength of illusionists, the world has been divided into 5 ranks. Ordinary people start from rank E, known as the outer layer, which represents the lowest tier. Rank 4 becomes the middle tier corresponding to strength and status. To enter one must at least be rank D, but the main character is currently at the lowest rank E. To receive more resources, one must ascend to the middle tier. But just as he was pondering, a small stone suddenly flew at him. Turning around, he realized it was those 2 guys who often bullied the original owner. What are you looking at? Do you think being at the top of the rankings makes you special? In the same rank, I feel like I could take you out with 1 hit. The main character thought to himself, there are always these kinds of people everywhere. Soon after class ended, all the students went to the sports area to measure their abilities. However, those 2 classmates approached him while the other students didn't dare to come near. The fear that the next bully might be them. Hey, did you enjoy staring at me earlier? It's been a few days and you've gotten tougher, huh? Writing theories doesn't do you any good. Are you planning to use your pen to charm your opponents? Illusionists value rank and strength. When it comes to strength, you're just a piece of trash. The main character was no longer the useless original owner. He coldly replied, so according to you, you're just a piece of rank. 1 trash, 2? Those 2 were immediately taken aback. They immediately raised their hands to punch the main character, but he twisted their punch back. Why are you so weak? The bully's face shifted from shock to fear, thinking to himself, why can't I move my hand? Moreover, this guy wasn't as tall as he is now before, was he? At this moment, the main character secretly exerted force, crushing his punch. You said strength is everything, so can I knock your teeth out now? The bully felt the pain radiating through him and was about to kneel down and beg. Just then, a wave of pressure, a powerful force came from afar. Who is it? The pressure is really strong. Then, a person in charge of the discipline spoke up, scolding him for being so bold. Who gave you the right to cause trouble during my class? But you kid just got back and already looking for trouble, right? The main character immediately put on a kind face, saying that our teacher was just having a good chat with us, and the guy was so scared he didn't dare to speak quickly, retracting his hand. The gym teacher warned him one last time, saying that if he messed up again, he shouldn't blame anyone. Then he ordered everyone to line up to buy their supplements. Using those supplements really boosted their stamina quite a bit. Some students even managed to do 50 pull-ups, right when the main character thought these physical tests were really strange. The class monitor suddenly ran over, "Joe, I thought you were in trouble since you took a few days off." Joe said he was fine, and the class monitor felt it was too abrupt, explaining, "I was just a bit curious. But I have to ask, didn't you buy any supplements from the teacher?" Joe shyly replied he didn't have any money, but thought to himself, who would want to buy a bottle for 6,000 AMI, some kind of poor fool among the rich? The class monitor intended to say something about how if you didn't buy, you'd be in trouble with the teacher. But halfway through, the teacher called her over for a check, and her final result was 25 pull-ups. But because of the teacher's supplements, she managed to pull up to 35, and at that moment, Joe understood why some people bought such expensive supplements. It turned out this teacher was just trying to make a living. But based on his current abilities, he didn't need them. Soon, everyone finished their checks, leaving only the main character with the teacher looking at his bag. He realized he hadn't bought a single bottle of supplements. Thinking to himself, this kid is so confident without relying on the teacher. Just then, he deducted a few points, making sure he wouldn't pass. It was like killing a chicken to scare the monkey. After the main character warmed up, he looked at the pull-up bar and noticed something special, but still felt that the test from the rich kid wasn't that simple. However, as soon as he grabbed the bar, he felt his body suddenly become heavy, and the more he exerted himself, the heavier it felt. Perhaps it was due to the crystal from the wrist guard, but even so, Joe still pulled up. Because he guessed the weight had its limits, it was the right moment to test his limits, which left all the students frozen in place. Wasn't the one testing himself Joe incredible? At that moment, Joe had pulled up nearly 100 times, and the weight had increased significantly, achieving such a record. He could reach the level of a second-tier test in a key class very quickly. After Joe completed the test, everyone surrounded him. "Joe, when did you level up to second tier? What kind of supplement did you use?" The teacher beside him was also astonished. How did this kid suddenly get so strong? Could it be that he used enhancement drugs? No, that's not right. Enhancement drugs are too expensive for an ordinary person to buy. And using them now would be such a waste. Could it be that during his days off he leveled up to second tier? Then what about my supplements? Thinking that being second tier was such a big deal, let me teach you a lesson about society. Meanwhile, the principal was arguing about organizing a match for the second tier. It turned out the government was currently in need of gathering more resources. Elite rich kids only needed the school to arrange a third-tier rich kid to qualify for participation, which was giving the principal a headache because the costs for the drugs and equipment for the key class were huge. They could only barely maintain the second-tier rich kids, and there were only 3 months left until the exchange tournament. If you focus everything on one person, the others will fall behind. What should I do, senior? At that moment, the physical education teacher suddenly opened the door and handed the principal the class's achievements. These students performed very well, but the teacher looked at the results with frustration, thinking to himself, it's all elementary level and he still talks big. At this point, the old teacher said, "There's one person I think isn't fit to be a substitute." Chujen was invited by the principal to have tea. He heard about the principal's strict personality and figured it couldn't be anything good. Just as he was about to open the door, flames suddenly blew out from his hand. Someone behind him said, "This is a special situation. It seems that the wish is close by, and once the wish is made, it can't be revoked." At that moment, the principal noticed and said, "What are you doing outside? Come in." Chujin walked in and greeted the principal, asking, "What's going on?" The principal replied heavily, "Chujin, your physical abilities are not bad approaching level 2, but you're skipping classes. Fighting with classmates and being reckless with the PE teacher is understandable for a young person, but do you know what's most important for a substitute? It's money. So I think you should give up on being a substitute." The male lead questioned, "Are you saying I'm not worthy to be a substitute? Do you want me to drop out?" The principal said that being a substitute requires a lot of money, and with your family background, it's impossible. In fact, he believed the male lead could enter a key class. But the school is facing difficulties for survival. It's better to nurture more valuable students. Training a high school student might bring hope. After thinking for a while, the principal finally spoke. Tuition will be refunded. What do you think? The evil spirit suddenly whispered in my ear. I've spotted the target. Quick, get that. Chujin thought to himself, can't you see I'm struggling here? Why don't you just take it yourself? The evil spirit replied, if I could take it, I would have. The rules state that the item belongs to you before I can take it. Chujin thought to himself that to pay off his debt, he had to reach the middle tier, but besides the requirement of level D, he also needed a diploma. This was the only graduate school around. But he also realized that the highest level here was only level 2. So what would happen if he reached level 3? Thinking of this, Chujin asked the evil spirit, you said I could receive a reward, right? Then right now, I need it. The evil spirit sweating replied, if you can, then you can. Do you want Chujin to insist, yes, that's right. I want the reward to lend me the power. The evil spirit hearing this became anxious. Didn't I say your body can't handle it? But Chujin remained resolute. I can't drop out here. Otherwise, I'll never level up. Fine, I'll go. The boss pointed, and a moment later, a flame erupted before him. The reward from the contract could always lend strength at that moment. The principal saw Chujin frozen in place and asked, what's wrong? Do you have something else? He stated his final request. I hope you can check my level and then decide. The principal thought he was struggling, but still agreed. Then the two shook hands, and he felt the surge of level 2 power just slightly higher than other level 2s. What a pity. At this moment, Chujin continued to gather strength. There's only one chance. Soon, another wave of energy surged in, causing the principal to widen his eyes in shock. Even the evil spirit didn't expect that Chujin's explosive power would be even greater. He let go of 4 principles, and how could his level rise so quickly? It was even enough to reach level 4. Come on, my friend, please represent the whole school in the tournament. The unexpected attitude left Chu stunned. Turns out the school had been at the bottom of the rankings for years. If they couldn't achieve good results, the education department might cut all resources for the school, which is why the principal intended to expel students. If ordinary students focus their resources on one person, there's more hope. But now Chu's level 4 strength gave the principal hope to express his regret. I'll waive your tuition if you transfer to the key class. Every week I'll provide you with 6 strength-enhancing potions. Just let me know what you need, Chu. Students like you are welcomed at any school, but I still hope you can consider representing my school in the competition. Your choice is the survival of this school. Chu understood that this competition was very important to the principal, which is why he offered so many good conditions. What if I want that black glass on the table? The principal said it belonged to the previous principal and was often used by him. Although it has no real effect, it's considered a legacy of this school. But if the school doesn't exist, what good is the legacy? If you really change this school, then giving it to you would be no problem. The male lead patted his shoulder and reassured him. The principal was very happy, but also curious. Right, I'm really curious about your level, Chu. He said it was just practice. Just hiding my skills a bit. Consider it special training, so I hope the principal can keep it confidential. The principal was deeply moved, thinking that the level was just a ruse to confuse opponents and develop skills. His enlightenment was so profound. I entrust the future to you, and I'm very happy. Then the principal invited another teacher to take Chu to the key class. The supplements will be provided as per Chu's request. Then the teacher took Chu to the second floor where all the key classes were. Just go register with me. By the way, what kind of relationship do you have with the principal? I've never seen him so happy. Chu said it was just casual chatting. At that moment, the physical education teacher rushed over, pretending to cry for Chu. I tried to plead with the principal. Unfortunately, I couldn't sway him. I hope after you leave school, you'll try harder and not bow to reality. But the teacher beside him was shocked. What did he just say? Tomorrow, Chu will transfer to the key class. The teacher was in shock. Oh, really? The principal is looking for you. Seeing his expression, he seemed very angry. It was soon evening, and as Chu got home, he collapsed onto his bed. How could he go from level 2 to level 4? Even if you're a genius, leveling up requires a lot of money and time. Boss, is there any way to level up in one go? If you want me to help you, you must fulfill my wishes first. No matter what, not being expelled and receiving supplements is already good. Leveling up can wait. The important thing is to find a way to make money. The next morning, the sunlight shone down on the familiar school, and Chu's face was twisted in distress. He looked at life with a gloomy gaze standing in front of the cold room, wondering what was going on. Why does this place look like an abandoned factory? A sudden urgent call rang out. "Is that you, Chu?" Chu instinctively turned around to see a figure in the distance, waving frantically at him. It was Teacher Trong, who joyfully called out, "Over here, over here." Teacher Trong explained that when he took attendance and didn't see him, he thought maybe he had gotten lost. Since he had to manage the whole class, sometimes it was really hard to keep track of everything. If there was anything he missed, he hoped Chu would understand. He suddenly remembered, "Oh, right. I'm the homeroom teacher for the key class. You can just call me Teacher Truong." This made Chu freeze in surprise. He thought teachers of key classes would be stricter, but he didn't expect him to be so easy to talk to. He quickly replied, "You're too humble, Teacher Trong. But if you're responsible for the whole class, doesn't that mean there are no other teachers for the key class?" "All's giants." Teacher Trong shyly scratched his head. "That's right. There are 3 teachers for the cultural subjects, but for the training sessions, it's just me. Because in recent years, the number of students in the school has been decreasing, and those who are capable enough to enter the key class are even rarer, so the school hasn't hired any new teachers. Usually our class studies and trains in the inner area, while the outside has been left unused for a long time without maintenance, which is why it's like this now." Chu silently guessed that the situation at the school was really bad. No wonder the principal was so anxious. Teacher Trong carefully closed the door and reassured him, "But don't worry, a skinny camel is still bigger than a horse. I believe this place won't disappoint you." Immediately, a room filled with modern machinery appeared. "Welcome, Chu, you've joined the key class," Teacher Trong announced loudly. "Currently, our class is in a free training session. I'll take you to this class to get acquainted a bit first." After looking around for a while, Chu felt a bit excited. This really was the key class. The environment here was completely different. Compared to the playground below, it was truly like a high-end gym. The students looked very motivated, but he secretly glanced to the side. Chu's intuition told him that the atmosphere felt a bit special. After a moment, Teacher Trong shouted, "Everyone gather around. I'd like to introduce a new student to you all. This is Chu." Although he joined the class a bit late, the key class has always evaluated based on ability. The fact that Chu can enter this class surely means he has his own strengths. "I hope that in the coming days, everyone will get along well and work hard together to achieve good results in the upcoming exchange." Chu slightly bent down and spoke, hoping for everyone's support. From a distance, someone appeared provocatively. "You think you're good enough? That guy is arrogant, crossing his arms. How about admitting you got in through the back door? Don't you fear lowering the class's standards?" Hearing this, Teacher Trong immediately shouted, "Ma Van Hao, watch your words." Chu entered the key class completely according to the rules. "I hope you won't spread rumors." Ma Van Hao took this chance to show off. "Whether it's a rumor or not, let's have a match and find out. I want to officially challenge you, Chu. Are you up for it?" "Oi, I don't wait, baby." Is it true that Ma Van Hao is flexing his power after the next victory? Just one match will tell us right away. I want to issue an official challenge to you, Chu. Are you brave enough to accept? Before this statement, the group of students around went into a frenzy, challenging each other to an official duel. It's been a long time since I've heard this phrase again. I heard that an official duel is completely different from a regular fight. Both sides must wager their honor and give it their all. They say that the loser must serve the winner, no matter what. Why blame that guy, Ma Van Hao? He's the strongest among us, but is it really necessary to bully a newcomer like that? Sitting aside, Tom Jiatui was a bit confused about why it was so lively over there. Tutuha, shocked, replied loudly, "It seems like a new transfer student is about to fight Ma Van Hao." He was startled and asked the transfer student while Teacher Trong was trying to mediate. An official challenge won't be valid if the opponent doesn't accept, but in response, Chuthan calmly accepted, leaving him speechless. Chuthan continued, "If it's just a friendly match that doesn't endanger lives, then I can accept the challenge." He secretly calculated to check his own strength. How does it compare to everyone else's? This also serves as preparation for the upcoming exchange event. Soon after, a voice from the principal's office shouted in panic, "What's going on? Is Chu Than fighting with someone else?" Teacher Trong honestly reported, "To be precise, Ma Van Hao has issued an official challenge to Chuthun, and Chuthun has agreed. Currently, neither of them is willing to back down, and the other students are surrounding them cheering loudly. It can't be calmed down anymore." Just as he said, the students were shouting, "Ma Van Hao, teach that kid what respect is." The newcomer should defeat Ma Van Hao. After a moment of hesitation, Ho Vi began to suspect that Chuthun was hiding his level. Could it be that he wants to test the results of his training this time? Conveniently, he could see how strong he really is. He immediately ordered to prepare the arena. "I allow this challenge to take place." Teacher Truong, confused about what was happening, replied, "Yes, yes," and soon he stepped up to be the referee. Chuthan, this is his first time participating in this kind of competition, so the teacher will briefly go over the rules. The rules for an official duel are similar to those for a friendly exchange. Only 2 people can fight, and outside students are not allowed to interfere. Anyone who violates the rules will be immediately expelled from the match. Both sides must duel at the same level for the match to be valid. No challenging above one's level is allowed. Looking at the displayed information, Ma Van Hao raised his eyebrows. He was also level 2. Teacher Trong worriedly reminded them that this match is a friendly duel, and absolutely no attacks on vital points are allowed. No lethal blows and no grudges after the match. Ma Van Hao smiled wickedly, as if he wanted to devour Chuthun. Teacher Trong raised his voice. "If you get hit in a vital area or voluntarily surrender, then you lose. Do you understand? Then let's begin." As soon as the words fell, the teacher immediately signaled to take the opportunity. Ma Van Hao rushed in at full speed, hoping to catch Chu Shen off guard. He thought he could easily grab him by the neck and win, but Chu Shen effortlessly blocked his move. Sure enough, he charged in right from the start. Ma Van Hao was shocked, gritting his teeth. He was blocked. This guy reacts quickly. In a panic, he unleashed a flurry of attacks, but they all missed. Ma Van Hao cursed under his breath, feeling like a rat scurrying around trapped in a corner. He planned to use his legs to control Chu Shen, looking for an opportunity. Suddenly, a brilliant flash of light shot from his leg, and Ma Van Hao felt a surge of excitement. "You like to dodge, huh?" He decisively unleashed his special move, the Gale Kick, but Chu Shen managed to block it just in time with his arm. Ma Van Hao smugly thought to himself that his Gale Kick could change the game in an instant. Even if you block it, the impact will knock you down. Let's see how you dodge on the ground. Suddenly, he glared, a murderous intent flashing in his eyes. Chu Shen focused his strength into his hand and slammed it down onto the ground. In an instant, he turned the tables with a devastating kick. Ma Van Hao exclaimed in shock, "How is this possible?" He knew his technique had pushed him back, but as long as he didn't get hit in the face, he still had a chance. But at that moment, Chu Shen's fist suddenly shot forward, pressing right against Ma Van Hao's nose. With confidence, he asked, "That means I hit your face, right? So I guess that means I win? Huh, Ma?" Van Hao was frozen in fear, unable to say a word. Teacher Zhang joyfully announced, "Chu Shen wins." Ma Van Hao's face turned pale as he stammered, I lost." The students around them were in disbelief, cursing, "No way! Ma Van Hao lost that easily. I didn't even get a chance to see what just happened. This rookie is surprisingly strong." Reflecting on what had just happened, Chu Shen thought the match was quicker than he imagined, but he had also grasped some feelings. He asked seriously, "So you have no objections now, right?" Standing aside, Teacher Zhang was astonished, biting his lip. Ma Van Hao, who had received professional training, was unexpectedly crushed like this. Chu Shen had never practiced techniques, but his physical strength and situational reactions were outstanding. He truly was an excellent combat talent. No wonder the principal told me to pay special attention to him. Suddenly, a voice rang out, "Well done!" The crowd jumped, realizing it was the principal, who waved at Chu Shen. "Come here for a moment. I want to talk to you." Shan Jiashui couldn't help but be curious. "Did you see that? This transfer student is really strong." Tu Xiaoshan nodded. "Yeah, I can seriously confirm that he's strong. We definitely need to recruit him as our disciple." She was left speechless, and he started again. Hoei asked kindly while walking, "Are you getting along well in the key class?" Chu Shen replied honestly, "Pretty good, just my classmates are a bit too enthusiastic." Hearing this, he laughed. After all, those with great strength are always more popular. You'll get used to it. Yes, just keep training hard, and if you need anything, feel free to ask. The school will help you." With those words, Chu Shen pondered. The principal seemed to trust him a lot. Maybe I can ask about making money. He hesitated before speaking. "Principal, do you think students have a way to make money quickly?" Ho Vi paused, tightening his grip on his shoulder, saying, "At your age, you shouldn't be thinking too much about that. You should focus your energy on practicing. That's how you'll have a chance to earn more money in the future. If your family is in trouble, the school can advance a little money." Chu Than quickly declined. "Oh, it's fine. I was just asking for fun." He felt helpless, thinking he still had to find another way. A moment later in the key class, a large amount of weights lay neatly on the floor. At this moment, Chu Than was deep in thought. Students who borrow money will be dealt with severely by the school, so be careful not to get caught. Is there anywhere else to find out how to make money? A sudden wow echoed. Chu Than instinctively turned around to see Tom Jiatui moving closer, starting a conversation. That match earlier was really spectacular. It even made the principal himself come to talk to you. "Who exactly are you?" he asked suspiciously. Noticing the situation was off, To Tiu Ha sternly reminded Tem Jiatui, "You're being quite rude." She smiled brightly, tilting her head. "Sorry, this guy has been like this since he was little. But he means no harm. I'm To Tiu Ha. This is Tom Jiatui. I'm To Tiu Ha. Just so you know, based on the admission ranking, I consider myself your senior. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me." Chu Than felt a bit shy, replying, "Thank you." Tom Jiatui smugly stroked his chin. "So, from now on, we're a trio. As the team leader, I'll take good care of you." He forced a smile, thinking what a weird guy. "Chu Than, you transferred from a lower class, right? Where did you learn that combat technique?" Chu Than frowned. "What combat technique?" Tham Jiatui jumped in surprise. "You don't know what a combat technique is." "The move you used to knock down Ma Van Hao, what was that?" he replied nonchalantly. "It was just instinctive." "Oh my gosh, that move is pretty lethal." If Ma Van Hao knew, he would be furious. After learning the combat technique, he went around boasting about it, unlike Chu Than, who remained calm as To Tiu Ha spoke up. "Let me explain a bit. A combat technique is a type of powerful move. Users can master it through scrolls or memory stones, and depending on their proficiency, the power and effectiveness of the move will vary. There are many types of combat techniques. Strong users even know how to combine techniques based on their own fighting style," Tom Jiatui explained. "The move that Ma Van Hao used to knock you down during the fight is a low-level combat technique called Ko Fong Cook." Chu Than quickly understood. No wonder I couldn't block that kick. If I had a combat technique, who knows, my chances of winning in the match might be higher. Thinking of this, he asked, "Are combat techniques really that rare?" Tham Jiatui thoughtfully replied, "Pretty much. Combat skills also have levels. The stronger they are, the rarer they become. Simple skills can be taught in school, but to get stronger skills, you usually have to buy them or have a master share them with you. Right now, the market price for a normal D-level combat skill is about 500,000. This makes Chu feel panicked. 500,000 is enough to cover my loan payments for a few months. Oh, really? He excitedly tightened his fist and added, "I have a combat skill too. When we spar, I'll show you. I, To Tiu Ha, am proud of my skills," he said, hands on his hips. Chu felt speechless, laughing awkwardly. "Just because you say you have it doesn't mean you actually do. I heard that the tuition for advanced classes here is really high. It's all rich kids." Then he suddenly remembered, wait, if I come from a well-off family, maybe I can ask about making money. Chu lowered his voice to probe. "If I want to buy a combat skill but don't have enough money, is there a way to make money quickly? No limits on methods, anything goes." Tham Jiatui looked blank. No limits like robbing a bank. He cut him off immediately. "Anything but robbing a bank." His face darkened in an instant. There are no limits to how one can make money quickly. Only the black market in the land of miracles, right? To Tiu Ha nudged Tom Jiatui painfully. "Don't harm others. If the teacher hears you say that, he'll definitely drag you off for a lesson." Chu curiously asked quietly about the black market. He awkwardly scratched his ear. "I was just joking. Although I've heard that anything can happen there, the school forbids students from getting close. If caught, you'll be expelled without negotiation." Just consider it a fun story. Thamjiatui wondered how much more money he needed for that skill. He hesitated. About 300,000 more. Both he and To Tiu Ha were immediately shocked. 300,000, that's a lot. Thamjiatui turned away and whispered, 300,000, not enough in my balance. She shook her head. I'm out of money too. Chu thought about the black market. Should he take a risk? After class, he decided to check it out. As the sky darkened, he stopped at the entrance of the black market. Chu focused on his phone screen, carefully looking ahead. The navigation map showed that the black market is right here. It's not far from my house, just a few minutes by car. Chu put his hands in his pockets and slowly moved forward to change into his uniform at home. Surely I won't be easily recognized, right? What do you think it's like in there? Seeing no one respond, Chu doubted, is this guy not here? He frowned, whatever. In the outer area, the level of users isn't high. I should be fine alone. Currently, my borrowed strength is level 4. If I encounter danger, I can still escape, but this place looks like it has been abandoned for a long time. Is there really some miraculous land here? Chu suddenly stopped. He noticed traces of someone having been here. A door caught his attention, an interesting secret tunnel. Chu stepped in cautiously. Meanwhile, in the distance, two shadows were silently observing, their eyes glinting with danger. Chu was momentarily stunned by the scene before him. But he marveled, realizing this was indeed the land of wonders. Looking around for a moment, Chu noticed that this was a filthy street with shady deals happening in every corner. Frustrated, he understood why no one ever mentioned this place. It was completely lawless. Anything could be done as long as there was profit involved. Who knows, maybe there really is a way to make money before the debt is due. Tired Chu closed his eyes and thought before turning around to question them about how long they planned to follow him. A foot stepped forward immediately. Instinct kicked in. The little brat, an arrogant troublemaker, was looking for a chance to knock him out and drag him away. If you've been discovered, then let's give you a little extra trouble. Chu didn't understand and asked, knock me out. Why? He licked his lips, pretending to be innocent, thinking I wouldn't know. I've seen plenty of types like you before. You must be some rich kid in disguise coming here for fun. Kidnapping you would definitely bring in a good amount of gold, but Chu was left speechless by this remark. What kind of intelligence is this? The troublemaker stepped closer to him, continuously applying physical pressure as if he was afraid of getting hurt. Well then good, I'm just luring you in. You won't escape from my grasp. If you cooperate with me to demand a ransom, I might just let you live. Chu, annoyed, snapped back. How rude. He was shocked and snapped. What did you say? With a single slap, Chu easily made him bite his tongue. The gang members were taken aback. What the hell? The boss is. Two of the thugs quickly pulled out knives, daring to sneak attack when the boss was off guard. They were ready to teach him a lesson without hesitation, feeling overconfident with their weapons. Suddenly, two wooden crates burst out, and the two thugs didn't have time to dodge, getting their faces smashed in by a shadow that appeared unexpectedly before Chu. That person took his hand firmly. The opponent glared, "Follow me," and then she decisively pulled him away, stopping in an alley, breathing a sigh of relief. This should be safe. Chu, confused, opened his mouth to thank her. Thank you for saving me. In his heart, he regretted wanting to ask about those two. The mysterious girl pressed. Are you Chu? How did you end up here? As soon as she finished speaking, she immediately regretted it, covering her face. Oh no, I forgot. I have to keep my identity hidden, Chu suspicious asked. Oh, do you know me? She paused. Oh, you don't remember me? The mysterious girl quickly denied. No, I saw your name. She subtly pointed at his collar. Chu's face instantly turned pale. He hadn't noticed that his name was written there. Luckily, she didn't recognize him. He quickly yanked at the button of his shirt. Thanks for the reminder. She nervously looked away. Almost forgot that I shouldn't reveal my identity. Thankfully, I managed to hide it. She suggested, in the black water area, don't carelessly reveal your information like that. It's very dangerous. I'll lead you out. Chu firmly waved his hand. No, I don't need it. I have some urgent matters to handle. I'll go ahead. Turning his back to leave. Chu was tense, thinking if she found out he was a student, it would be disastrous. It's best to slip away quickly. Watching his back, she couldn't help but feel confused. Even though they hadn't met for years, he was Chu. She couldn't be mistaken. Did he really not remember her? Or was he pretending? Isn't he a student? How does this relate to here? But more importantly, the feeling of contact earlier, he also seemed like a fake. The mask was offered at a price of 10 yuan, and Chu quickly paid and carefully put it on, ensuring safety. Even though I've been wandering for a long time, but there's still no clue to make money, a shadow suddenly appeared, calling out to the guy who definitely didn't look like a local. Right, Chu was cautious, questioning who he was. The man confidently introduced himself, saying, "Just think of me as your guide here. I know everything about this place. If you have any questions, just ask me. You seem interested, so let me ask you, is there a place around here to make quick money?" The other party laughed heartily, of course, inviting him to follow. He was excited to collect a fee per head. After a while, the scene shifted to a dark basement. A powerful punch was thrown, and the unfortunate man was taken down in one blow. In the stands, the crowd cheered, and watching the scene, Chu wondered, "Is this an underground boxing arena?" The guide nodded. "That's right. If you want to make quick money, this is the place." He boasted further that tonight there would be a special match where the winner would not only receive a cash prize, but also a share of the betting money. There are many fighters, especially fakes, participating in the match. The fights are not only intense, but the customers also bet heavily. Now is the perfect time to join. He quietly calculated. The guy on stage looked intimidating, but in reality, he was only at a beginner level. This could be an opportunity. The total prize money was continuously being announced. He leaned in. "If you want to play, I can take you to exchange some chips right now." Chu immediately replied, "Forget the chips. I want to directly win the prize." This left the man momentarily speechless. The mysterious girl finally caught up with Chu. It was strange because she had clearly seen him come here. In the stands, the audience cheered. "That kid is strong. What now? My money." She was shocked to recognize a familiar figure and wondered why that guy was here. On the fighting floor, Chu's opponent kept boasting, "Don't think winning 2 matches makes you cocky. I'm the strongest contender in this tournament. Remember this well, my name is Yahello, and I will win the championship." But Chu didn't care at all and decisively knocked him out, leaving the referee astonished. Another punch like that is just too boring. Chu shouted, "Quick wins are the way to go next." Before long, a new opponent appeared with a familiar line, "Remember me." But before he could finish, he was stopped by the referee. The next guy, unable to contain his fear, stammered, Wait, and then his fate didn't improve much. In the observation room, the boss turned pale and stood up. "Wait, I only let him participate because he looked weak. How did it turn out like this?" "Hey, subordinate." He panicked, reporting, "Boss, the contestants we were going to sign contracts with all ran away. The customers are also suspicious that we rigged the results and are demanding refunds. If this continues, that guy will snap at me. I already know no matter what. We can't let this kid take the prize." The boss ordered to have him compete in another match. "Let that guy fight him." Up on the stage, Chushen is continuously unleashing moves, easily taking down opponents in the blink of an eye, the last one being Chushen's fierce storm. According to the agreement, the prize is already mine, right? The referee is ignoring this competitor. He's truly unstoppable. I believe everyone hasn't seen enough yet, right? So we've decided to meet everyone's expectations. Organize another really intense match. Chushen guessed that these guys never intended to hand over the prize to him from the start. It doesn't matter whether you agree or not. He has announced it. Let's welcome the mysterious competitor. The trump card of Match 7. Chushen's face immediately changed after the first encounter. A large vehicle was quickly pushed out, revealing a grotesque figure, a hideous monster carefully brought out. It was brutally thrown down face first into the ground, the protective cage quickly locked. Chushen was confused, wondering what was going on. A few jets of gas suddenly burst from the monster's neck, a battery core instantly activated, and in an instant the monster sprang up facing Chushen with its hideous face. In the stands, a delicate girl screamed, "This is too scary." A stern-voiced man reassured her, "What's there to be afraid of? I'm here to protect you. I could punch this thing to death." Inside, he was secretly worried. "Damn good thing I'm sitting in the back row. I almost wet myself." The mysterious girl, frightened, turned pale. Why is this thing appearing here? But this is not something that Chushen at his level can handle. With her abilities, saving him from here shouldn't be a problem, but doing so would reveal her whereabouts. They would definitely discover her plan. Thinking of this, she gritted her teeth in frustration at Chushen. Over here, Chushen was annoyed, cursing silently. "Damn it, just when I need him, the boss isn't here." Unlike previous opponents, this one is definitely not human. Being stared at by it feels like prey, locked in the hunter's sights. Just facing it is already intimidating. I can feel my anger rising. My instincts tell me that this thing is very dangerous. One of its fingers suddenly twitched, and in an instant, it shot past me. Chushin narrowly escaped death. He was sweating. That was too fast if I hadn't instinctively dodged. That blow would have taken my life. This guy really wants to kill me. I absolutely can't hold back. In no time, Chushin had restrained the monster's 2 arms. He knew he had to slam its legs down to gain momentum. Chushin was tense. Damn, this strength is too much. This guy is too dangerous. I have to deal with this quickly. But with no other options, he decided to borrow power, increasing his strength from level 2 to level 4. Chushin quickly gathered strength into his 2 fists, without hesitation, launching a decisive blow straight into the monster, watching it lie still on the ground. Chushin hesitated, wondering if he had taken it down. Just then the monster unexpectedly sprang up, and Chushin quickly stepped back, realizing that his strongest attack had no effect on it. This guy has tough skin and fat flesh, plus sharp claws. Fighting up close puts me at a disadvantage. I need a weapon. He instinctively weaved through every nook and cranny, fleeing as the monster continuously attacked. Chushin seized the opportunity to break its finger. He quickly grabbed a long, sharp stick and decisively slashed at the monster's neck. The monster let out a few horrifying cries of pain. He thought to himself that was too shallow, but at least he could injure it. His strength was greater than its. After borrowing power, he just needed to get close one more time to take it down. A white mist suddenly obscured everything. Chushin was startled, realizing, is this toxic gas? It's not just ordinary fog. He suddenly froze as a strike grazed past, tearing a corner of Chu's shirt. Instinctively, he spun around, but the monster quickly attacked him from behind. Losing his ability to attack, Chu entered a defensive state, unable to see anything. This guy was using the fog to wear him down, afraid he might find an opening. So he wouldn't dare act recklessly, even though he could withstand the attack. Once the borrowed strength ran out, he would be done for, and he couldn't hold out until then. He had to deal with it right now, no matter what. He needed to see where the monster was, stay calm, and not be afraid. Focusing all his senses, his gaze suddenly flashed with a deadly intent. A blurry figure gradually appeared in his sight, moving at a breakneck speed. Chu furrowed his brows in anger as he spotted it. An immediate attack rushed towards him, and he managed to grab the monster's hand just in time. With a swift turn, that arm was torn apart in midair, and the monster let out a horrific scream. Chu immediately lunged forward with the sharp tip of his weapon. His heart suddenly twisted painfully, as if struck by 1,000 electric shocks. It hurt so much was he reaching his limit. At that moment, the monster had seized his weapon, and Chu was determined not to let that happen. In an instant, it flicked out its green tongue, and he couldn't dodge in time, suffering a severe injury. Furious, Chu screamed, and before he was done, he used his strength to grip the monster's tongue tightly. Without hesitation, he yanked it away in a circle, and right after that, Chu held tightly onto the monster's jaws, grimacing as it wasn't over yet. His eyes were filled with murderous intent as the monster's throat was torn apart, but Chu still roared, "Die!" The boss anxiously asked, "What's going on?" One of the subordinates replied, confused, "Why can't we see anything?" He was startled and reported, "Boss, the smoke is clearing." The boss was shocked. "What, is that kid dead yet?" In the next moment, his face turned pale. Outside, the mysterious girl was also astonished. "How is this possible?" The audience cheered excitedly. "He won!" "Luckily, I bet against that kid." "No way, how could he keep winning like this?" Watching that figure, she exclaimed in awe, "He really threw that monster down mercilessly." Chu's eyes glinted with lethal intent. The subordinates were instantly terrified, trembling. The boss slumped down in his chair, stammering, How could this be? Is that kid really the winner?" He bit his lip, still in disbelief. "That's something I spent a lot of money on from the central area," the announcer's voice rang out. "Let's congratulate this contestant for becoming the champion of this tournament. Please follow the staff to collect your prize." Chu quietly glanced around. Was it finally over? A moment later, backstage in the arena, a suitcase full of cash was opened. "This is the prize money," one of the subordinates announced loudly. "A total of 510,000 G. Chu reached out to take it, no problem at all. Suddenly, a hand shot out and slammed the suitcase shut. The boss, looking grim, tried to stop me, saying, Wait, why don't you reconsider and become one of our signed players? Competing under my arrangement, you can take the full amount of 5 and 10,000 G or just 110,000 G and leave right now. He frowned, clearly annoyed, and snapped, What do you mean? All my signed players have run away. You even killed my key player. I paid a hefty sum for you, and now you've breached the contract. You owe me damages. Chushen calmly rebutted. You didn't mention anything about needing to fight extra rounds. If I remember correctly, you told me that before we hit the field. Not asking for identities on the field means signing a death certificate. Killing an opponent or being killed by one carries no legal consequences, right? It's entirely up to the player's will, isn't it? His words left him speechless. Chushen radiated intense killing intent and firmly asserted, so not a single Zhu less than 510,000 G. The boss was cornered. He stood up abruptly, pulling out a gun. Who do you think you are? What gives you the right to demand conditions from me? You think you can leave here? Chushen easily crushed the gun. I want to leave. Can you stop me? In pain, he ordered, Kill him. The boss kept shouting, Kill him! As soon as he spoke, a group of men in black aimed their guns at him. Chushen frowned and sighed, and then a series of gunshots rang out. The mysterious girl was shocked to recognize the gunfire coming from Chushen. Suddenly, a tall figure was kicked off the second floor, and the crowd reacted violently. What's going on here? Filming, that's intense. Falling from such a height, the mysterious girl was astonished, wondering if that was possible. Behind the scenes, the subordinates were being gradually taken down. They struggled desperately, but he easily dispatched them. A large amount of bullets were fired. Chushen tightly gripped the head of the shooter, charging forward and throwing him out of the basement. The wall completely shattered, and the subordinates scrambled to chase him downstairs. Hurry, chase after him. Send someone to block the back alley and all exits. Chushen hurried away, his heart aching from overexertion. The worst part is, the wounds on his body were worsening. If this continues, he would be at death's door. Suddenly, a hand shot out and grabbed Chushen by the collar. It was the mysterious girl. She gently covered his mouth, while outside the subordinates were frantically calling out, Hello, not here, check over there. He must have gone out the back door. You guys search this way. After a moment, she gently released her grip. You're safe now. Chushen was suspicious. What was that just now? She nodded in acknowledgement and reminded him to conserve his strength. I know a secret passage that can help you leave safely. The mysterious girl led him to a dark path. Just go straight through here and you can get outside. We need to leave quickly before they completely surround the area. Chushen felt a bit awkward as he gently pulled down his mask. Hurry up, the mysterious girl urged. Go. With no other choice, he turned away, not forgetting to whisper a thank you to the mysterious girl who quietly watched his hurried departure. She made a phone call, and on the other end the person questioned Lam in frustration about why he had come to the Blackwater area. She coldly interrupted. First, let's not talk about this anymore. I have something important to discuss with Grandpa. I've discovered some special things here. The door slammed shut with a loud bang, and Chushen collapsed onto the floor, his face pale, his whole body trembling. The pain in his heart was unbearable. Chushen gritted his teeth in anger. Damn it! Overwhelmed by pain, Vu fainted. The information board displayed Chushen's star-level ability, E Level 2 ability to borrow power, remaining wishes, 999 remaining rewards, no debts. This round, minus 510,000 total remaining debt. 103.18.912 minus 510,000 equals 99.808.912. In a dream, a familiar scene appeared. Chushen's mother choked up, saying, I told you before that the illness might improve after 2 or 3 years. I'm sorry I lied to you. Actually, Mom's illness won't get better in 2 or 3 years. She only has a maximum of 2 or 3 years left. Mom, I really want to see you one more time, to see you at my wedding, to see me have children, to watch me grow old, and to gently caress my face. I'm sorry, Mom. I don't have the strength to be with you anymore. I love you. Chushen in agony knelt beside the hospital bed, crying silently. Even in her last moments, she thought of him and said, I love you so much. Chushen woke up from the dream. His eyes were still teary, and Chushen's face was pale. He breathed weakly and unconsciously looked out the window. Chushen was astonished to sit up. Was this Chushen's home? He couldn't believe it, and exclaimed, I'm still alive. Chushen sighed in boredom. Thanks to this dream, I was able to wake up. Clearly, so much time has passed. His boss asked, "You're awake." Chushin immediately jumped, raising his voice in confusion. "Boss, where have you been these past few days?" The boss replied, "I had a lot of work to do elsewhere. When I returned, I found you had been unconscious here for 2 days straight. You looked really bad. I thought you wouldn't make it." No explanation at all. After a moment, Chushin recounted everything, and the boss understood that he had taken advantage of his absence. "You secretly went to a place where you could fight, huh? Using too much power to take down the monster almost backfired on you, right?" He snorted angrily. "Foolish, I told you before. Don't casually use my power, especially when I'm not around. What if you die?" Chushin was at a loss for words. It wasn't casual. It was all unavoidable. "You don't need to be that angry. He keeps blaming you. Do you think that even if you die, I can save you? What are you thinking? Reviving you before consumed most of my energy. If you die again, I won't be able to save you. Having gone through life and death, you should cherish this opportunity even more." At those words, he paused for a moment, and Chushin's gaze softened. "I didn't expect you to say something like that. But you're right. Opportunities are hard to come by. I need to cherish it even more." He felt satisfied knowing that was good enough. "But what you're saying about that creature part human and part not with sharp claws and able to breathe smoke doesn't sound like anything that exists in this world." He leaned back, resting his chin on his hand. "Who knows? Anyway, later on. I really don't want to go to those haunted places anymore." Chushin let out a sigh. "And there's that girl we met at the Blackwater area, whatever. I don't want to think about it anymore. Let's just focus on upgrading first." Suddenly, he remembered the money. The suitcase was full of cash, and he excitedly hugged it close. "Thank goodness the money is still here." The evil spirit mocked, feeling a bit nauseous. "Is that the reason you came to the arena?" He continued. "The boss doesn't understand with this 5-10,000 at least until the end. The exchange event means I won't have to worry about repaying debts anymore, so I can fully concentrate on upgrading." Chushin hesitated, standing up. "Before heading back to school, I still need to take care of my stomach wound. The small wounds on my body will heal on their own. Just this one on my stomach." He was in a daze, holding his head, and still had to go to the hospital for treatment, then practice at school. Before that, he had to stop by the bank to deposit money, suddenly becoming very busy, feeling like a drought in words before that scene. After a while, he arrived at Tianlan Hospital, where the doctor carefully examined him. There was nothing major. Although it was a penetrating wound, it was healing quite well, just needed to be careful. "Keep it clean and don't get hurt again, and that's all you need." He asked with concern about the recovery speed. "Not just anyone can do this. Are you a transmigrator?" Chushin honestly admitted, "Yes, that's right." The doctor seized the opportunity and immediately introduced that transmigrators are easily injured, right? By the way, the hospital is currently running a promotion. If you make a card, you can enjoy many benefits later on. Chushin straightforwardly declined. "No, that's not necessary. Just give me the regular medicine." He forced a smile. "That's fine. I'll prescribe you a specific anti-inflammatory medication. Just remember to take it on time." Chushin felt relieved. Good thing that Monster's tongue wasn't poisonous, but as soon as he relaxed a bit, his eyes started itching again. "What's going on, doctor?" The doctor proactively handed him a bottle of medicine. "Just take this out and pay for it." The bottle emitted a strange light. Chushin, suspicious of the light, asked, "Doctor, what is this light on the bottle?" The doctor replied, "Light? I don't see any light here. This is just a specialized anti-inflammatory medication for transmigrators." Chushin's face went blank. "But I clearly see it. It doesn't look like a hallucination at all. Am I the only one seeing this?" The doctor continued to introduce. "Could it be that the pressure is too great, causing hallucinations for transmigrators experiencing great pressure is normal? By the way, I have a psychological counseling class for transmigrators. If you make a card now, you'll get a discount on the price. It's totally normal to feel pressure from others, and by the way, I have a counseling class for those who feel that way. You can even get discounts on the card now. All kinds of medicines are glowing outside, and the passers-by are radiating a special aura." Chushin is puzzled, wondering why these beams of light can be seen everywhere. Even on their bodies, could it be because of the energy of the transmuters? He focused on his palm, noticing the difference between ordinary people and transmuters is whether or not they possess enhanced energy. Could this be the light emitted from that energy? Chushin suddenly realized, could it be because of that moment? He was astonished and laughed. If it were true, it couldn't be underestimated. The key to leveling up for transmuters lies in the absorption of energy. If I can truly sense the energy, it would be even easier to absorb it. Chushin suddenly paused. His attention was drawn to a tall figure with a massive aura silently passing by. Chushin felt a chill and glanced at this person's energy. It was definitely not simple. The other person seemed to notice him too and turned back questioning if he was being observed. But this place shouldn't have any powerful beings, right? The phone rang and the other party reminded him, "Have you arrived at the hospital yet? Don't forget our mission is to find the rare energy. Don't get too carried away." He replied nonchalantly, "Don't worry, it's rare for me to go on a business trip. I don't want to waste it. I plan to stay in this country for a while and catch up with our little princess." The voice on the other end continued, "That's good. According to the boss's prophecy, the rare energy is a crucial milestone for changing history. Before confirming it's you, it's best to approach the two enemies first and take appropriate measures." He smugly took off his glasses, saying, "Honestly, the boss is worrying too much. If the rare energy truly is the enemy, I will destroy it myself. The mysterious man, whose real name is Amiya, is a grade A transmuter." The next morning, the warm sunlight shone down on the high school. In the office, Hovey bowed his head seriously. "You've only been in class for a few days, and you haven't answered calls or texts, nor have you attended classes. Care to explain?" Chushin was flustered, thinking how quickly the principal got the news. He replied, "I'm sorry my family had an urgent matter, and I didn't have time to inform the school. I'm really sorry. I am willing to accept any punishment." He interrupted, "That's not what I meant. I want to ask if you've encountered any unexpected issues." Chushin quickly denied, "No, not at all. I'm worried you might regret the competition." Hovey straightforwardly denied, "No. As for the competition, I believe in you. I'm more concerned if you have any difficulties you're hiding and don't dare to speak about. You are an excellent transmuter. Even if you didn't agree to the competition before the school, will do its utmost to help you. The meaning of the academy is to nurture outstanding transmuters, and that will never change. I hope you can understand this." Chushin nodded slightly, reassuring the principal. "Don't worry, I'm fine. I will give my all in the competition to bring glory to the school." Hovey was satisfied and instructed, "If there's nothing else, you can go back to class. Your friend was worried about you and even came to the office to ask about you," he said, leaving him puzzled. "Friend, huh?" A moment later, a loud voice called out in the key class, "Chushin." Shen Jiashui was astonished and threw an arm around him. "You finally came back. We haven't heard from you for days. Where have you been?" Xiao was worried and asked loudly, "Even the teachers didn't know your situation, making me scared to death." Chushin awkwardly replied, "Sorry, my family had some urgent matters." Shen Jiashui suddenly remembered something and excitedly turned around. "Oh, right. About the combat skills you mentioned." He took a bank card out of his pocket. Totuha worriedly raised her voice asking the teachers, but they didn't know about his situation, which scared me to death. Chuthan awkwardly replied, "I'm sorry my family has some urgent matters." Thamjia Tui suddenly remembered something and excitedly turned around. "Oh, right, about the combat skills you mentioned." He pulled out a bank card from his pocket. "Give it to Chu, my friend, and the little ones have gathered 300,000. You can take it now and use it, and if you have extra later, you can pay it back slowly." Chu's face went blank. He didn't expect that I was just joking earlier, but they took it so seriously. My brother laughed and waved his hand. Later I realized that strategy wasn't worth much. I wasn't planning to buy that money anymore, but I still thank you guys, Tam Jiatui, for encouraging me. It's such a pity, but don't worry, you'll find something better. Suddenly, a voice called out to Chu. Ma Vun Hao blushed as he appeared with a credit card. I heard them say that he seemed to be short on cash. I saved up 50,000 NDT. I hope you don't think it's too little. About the previous loss in the competition, if there's anything you need me to do, just let me know. No. Chu refused, saying he didn't need to be a workhorse. On the contrary, my brother To Tu Ha snapped back, questioning Ma Vun Hao. "What are you doing here, causing a ruckus in our team? Are you plotting something?" He hurriedly denied it. No, it's not like that." Ma Vun Hao awkwardly scratched his neck. "I just wanted to tell Chu that I used to think you got into the elite class through connections to enhance your profile, but then Teacher Trung told me about your situation, and I was truly convinced. You made me realize the gap, so I want to be friends with you. Totuha leaned in and whispered to him. What he said isn't wrong. You really are the first to defeat him. Do you want to let him join? Chu forced a smile. I don't have any objections. If she speaks up, then it's fine. If you agree to be the fourth member, we wouldn't mind. Ma Van Hao replied happily. Rankings don't matter to me. Tam Jia Tui smiled broadly. All right, let's celebrate the new member joining the team. Tu Ma Go, pour me a glass of water. He immediately refused, saying if he was going to pour water, it should be for Chu. After all, you're the one who lost to me. This made Tam Jia Tui jump. What? You just joined the team and you're already rebelling. Looking at them, Chu felt reassured and smiled. They're all really good friends. I'm lucky to still be alive. Otherwise, I wouldn't have met them. After a while, the treadmill kept beeping. Chu was panting, thinking to himself that the way to level up in Dujia is very simple. Just let your body absorb the energy. The more energy absorbed, the higher the level, just like experience points in a game. High-intensity exercise can increase the body's absorption rate, which is why most students in Dujia are in physical education. But the issue of absorption rate is even harder than imagined. He looked down at his arms, worried. I tried to wear gear that could enhance my training intensity, but the body's absorption rate is still very low. If the energy in the body isn't absorbed in time, it will gradually be expelled, which is a huge waste. No wonder some people only stay at level 1 their whole lives with this progress. There's no way I'll reach level 4 before the competition. I need to find a way to increase my body's absorption rate. Tham Jia Tui suddenly ran over, calling out loudly, Self-training is a bit boring, Chu. Let's do some sparring to change things up. Chu was curious about the sparring and suddenly realized that's right. Back then, it was because I had to fight that monster. I accidentally pushed myself to grasp the ability to observe energy. Could it be? Chu said without hesitation. I want to spar. I have an idea and need everyone's help. Very quickly, the four of them arrived at the sparring room under the dim lights. Totuha launched a cloud-splitting move while Tum Jia Tui simultaneously executed a fierce fist. Chu easily dodged, praising everyone for their improving coordination. We're almost done. When they were feeling tired, he happily said to everyone, We've been fighting for almost an hour. Let's take a break. You all worked hard. Over here, they were sweating profusely, completely exhausted. I frowned when you said you wanted to take on 2 at once earlier. I thought you were joking, but it turns out you were serious. At first, I even thought I could touch you, but Tui interrupted. But this method is amazing. You don't have to worry about winning or losing. You can focus entirely on the fight. Just now, I managed to pull off many moves I never dared to try before. Chu turned to look at Ma Van Hao. Soon it would be Van Hao's turn, and he was so excited, cracking his knuckles. I can hardly wait. Standing in a corner watching Chu, I finally understood. It seems I wasn't wrong in my guess about these intense battles. Everyone's absorption rate will be very high. They have a solid foundation. As long as the absorption rate increases, they'll level up quickly. Now that the absorption rate is high, who knows, we might be able to try that method, so that even ordinary people can safely drink the energy supplements, which are usually heavily diluted. If the physical condition is normal, the absorption of energy is low. Even if you drink thousands of bottles of supplements, you won't level up. However, from my observation, the energy borrowed through utilizing force can be 100 times more concentrated. Compared to the supplements with my current strength, directly absorbing this amount of energy, it would definitely cause my body to explode and die. But as long as I control the flow of borrowed energy to a level, I can handle Chu. You could turn the borrowed energy into usable energy. It's worth a try for a quick level up. He immediately channeled a massive force and a huge power quickly emerged. Chu was tense, biting his lip, realizing he had no idea how much energy he could borrow. It's insane. It makes sense, though. After all, this level of energy could help me advance 2 levels in a row, and I managed to control the energy flow down to the smallest level successfully. Chu opened his eyes. A glint of killing intent flashed as a massive power was instantly released from his heart. He was shocked, grinding his teeth, not expecting that such a small amount could be so overwhelming. Yet in the blink of an eye, his body was filled with pain, cursing under his breath. Damn it! He tried his best to control the energy flow, but still absorbed too much. If this continued, his body would explode. I can only release it. Chu gathered his strength, pointing his arm straight up to the ceiling. The enormous power spread throughout the room, startling everyone who gasped in shock. Is the ground shaking? It's Chu. 2. Why is his energy suddenly so powerful? Finally, at this moment, the dark god appeared, asking what was going on, sensing a strange energy source. He realized, "You're absorbing my energy." Chu admitted, "Yeah, I tried to control the amount of energy I could absorb, and thankfully I succeeded." The dark god skeptically asked, "You're absorbing my energy and not dying. Could it be that you truly are my destined point? The information shows that the energy supplement is made from materials containing energy, like energy grass and energy crystals, which have many miraculous effects, like replenishing energy, enhancing physical strength, and healing wounds." Chu was astonished, asking, "What did you just say?" The dark god shook his head. "It's nothing. The fact that you're still alive is good enough." From afar, Teacher Truong rushed over, asking loudly, "What's going on? What happened? Is everyone okay?" Tiu Ha shouted, "We're fine, it's Chu." Tam Jia Tui looked confused, crossing her arms. "We just finished our training, and then Chu suddenly went like this." Chu quickly waved his hand in denial, thinking to himself that the energy was too strong. Could the noise just now be? He immediately ordered, "Van Hao, bring the measuring device over here." The device quickly displayed the information, and Teacher Truong exclaimed in shock. "Level 3! He asked loudly. "I'm not seeing things, am I?" Without hesitation, Teacher Truong dashed away. "This is the first person to reach level 3 in so long. I need to report this to the principal." Tiu Ha excitedly asked, "How did you level up like that?" "Quick, show me." Chu smiled awkwardly. "It was just training like before." "Everyone will level up quickly too." Inside, he regretted causing such a big commotion. "Next time I should try this at home." Tham Jia Tui looked blank, not blaming what just happened. "After finishing the training, I felt very excited." She asked brightly, "So we just need to train a lot to level up like you?" Ma Van Hao anxiously urged, "Don't rest anymore, let's hurry and train. It's my turn now." "You go ahead, I'll handle the defense side." "That's not right. I should have done it first." Chu looked frustrated and stretched, remembering that this time the boss didn't scold me. "I'm used to his absent-mindedness. If it's just to level up quickly, I won't say anything to you anymore. After all, I need you to get stronger," Chu tiredly reassured. "There's still plenty stored up that hasn't been used yet, so if I wait for my body to absorb it slowly, I could level up to level 4. At this, the dark god said nothing, just remained silent. Today is July 12th, 2026, with 55 days left until the friendly match. Chu diligently trained, and before long, it was July 17th, 2026, then July 25th, July 29th, and August 3rd, 2026. August 15th, 2026, September 1st, 2026 that day finally arrived. September 6, 2026, with the time left until the friendly match. That morning at the venue, someone joyfully exclaimed, "There are so many people." Tiu Ha happily ran over, not believing I was really standing on this stage. "If my mom knew, she would definitely be moved to tears," Tam Jia Tui continued cheerfully. "I heard this competition has more students participating than before." The number of students participating is greater than before. Ma Van Hao thoughtfully asked, "Han Chu, have you finished preparing for the level 4 match?" The intensity of level 4 is like night and day compared to level 3. It's a pity that if we had a little more time, who knows, we might have been able to fight together. Chu confidently replied, "Don't worry. Didn't the principal say that as long as we participate, that's enough? Winning or losing can be figured out later. If it's dangerous, I can just withdraw from the competition." Ma Van Hao reluctantly said goodbye. "The resting area for level 3 and level 4 is separate. We have to part ways here." Tham Jia Ti looked out. "If we finish early, we'll go cheer for you." Tiu Ha enthusiastically cheered. "Go for it." Chu smiled. "I'll cheer for everyone too." "Don't worry." He waved. "It's finally time." Chu lowered his voice. "Then I should get ready too." At the same time, the scene shifted to the VIP stands. Hovey was constantly looking around. This was still my first time in the VIP area. Teacher Trung felt a bit emotional. After all, our school had only participated in middle school competitions before, so we never had such treatment. From a distance, a man with a two-part hairstyle appeared joyfully. Lao Ho-vi excitedly recognized him as the principal Von Tung Du Vung Min Vien. He smiled and patted the man's shoulder. Congratulations. I didn't expect you all to actually train level 3 and level 4 in such a short time. Ho-vi humbly denied, not at all, it's all the students' efforts. I'm just trying to meet their needs. Fortunately, before that, Lao Vung had timely informed me about the changes in the competition format. Looking down at the arena, Vung Min Vien's voice gradually became tense. This time, after reforming the competition format, the central government plans to increase the subsidies for the winning schools. To receive this subsidy, the competition between schools will definitely be fierce. Ho-vi nodded in agreement. That's right. Suddenly, a loud voice rang out. So noisy is it because of a few country bumpkins here for the first time? Ho-vi angrily retorted, What are you saying? Ho-vi angrily asked, What are you talking about? Vung Ming quickly intervened, urging the old man to stay calm. After all, they were all principals of schools that had won awards in previous competitions. It's best not to create conflict with them. He understood the implication, taking a deep breath, but it was just about winning. The match hasn't even started yet. Who wins or loses is still uncertain. Principal Thuk Kwang scolded the previous champion was indeed arrogant and full of himself. Those who think they have skills only bark louder. Enjoy your last moments. If you don't remember this scene well, you won't have another chance later. Teacher Trung leaned in and whispered to Ho-vi. Our principal is indeed participating in such a high-level competition for the first time. The kids will be okay, right? Mr. Cao, what do you think of our students, Tu Trung? He's honest. I believe everyone is quite talented, especially Chu, whose natural talent is no less than those geniuses in the advanced academies who rely on drugs all day. Ho-vi happily added, That's right. The only thing we need to do is trust them. In the stands, Lu Diandian anxiously held up a sign, cheering for Lai School, thinking to herself, This is still my first time in a place like this. I'm really nervous. I wonder if Chu will be okay. Her face showed a hint of sadness when she heard that Chu would be competing. At first, she didn't even believe it. Flashback to a week ago, Lu Diandine walked down the hallway bored. Since Chu was transferred to the key class, she hadn't seen him for a long time. She didn't even know how he was doing now. But now, he is the school's big star, even representing the school in a level 4 competition. Surely he wouldn't want to talk to someone like me. In the regular class, lost in thought, she accidentally tripped, but luckily a shoulder appeared just in time to catch her in Chu's arms. He kindly asked, Class monitor, are you okay? Lu Diandine stammered, Chu. She was flustered. Thank you for helping me, but why are you here? He gently explained, I just passed by and saw you, so I came to say hi. Chu felt awkward, thinking she might not want to be friends with him anymore after he moved to the key class. He laughed. What are you talking about? Friends are still friends. Why should we change because of different statuses? Back to reality, Lu Diandine felt relieved realizing that Chu was still the same Chu from before, unchanged at all. He will definitely make it. The announcement rang out, calling the competitors from various schools to the stage. The students immediately reacted, Look, it's Chu. Lu Diandine quickly recognized the familiar face. He was on stage now. The information board displayed Chu's level energy rising from E2 to E4, ability to borrow strength, remaining wishes for the evil spirit. Remaining rewards for the evil spirit. None, total debt remaining 99 years, 808 months, 912. The host opened the match. Dear honored guests, esteemed teachers, and beloved students. Welcome to the venue of the district-wide exchange competition this time. This competition will be managed by me and my partner Lillian. The audience erupted in cheers. Lillian is the hottest idol right now. Is she really here to host the competition? Even without idol clothes, she's so cute. Lillian playfully winked. Today, I'm not just an idol, I'm Lillian working hard. The contestants are the main characters. It's Lillian who's working hard. The contestants are the real stars here. She continues to announce the next part so I can explain the rules of the competition to everyone. This time, there are a total of 12 academies participating, each sending 4 representatives to compete. Among them, the Level 4 group has 16 contestants, while the Level 3 group has 52 contestants. These arenas are only for the Level 4 contestants. If you want to see the Level 3 group, please follow the instructions to the other exam room. The results of the Level 3 and Level 4 groups will be converted into final points, which will determine the rankings based on these scores. The general rules of this competition are as follows. Each match will have 2 contestants competing, and the winner will advance to the next round. The winners will continue to compete against other winners until the champion is determined. At the same time, to allow contestants to give their all, the competition time will be limited to half an hour instead of being unlimited as before ending when one side loses the ability to fight or voluntarily surrenders. I hope everyone can truly showcase their abilities, although the rules of this competition are stricter than before. There's no need to worry too much. Everyone look here. She suddenly excitedly raised her hand high atop the white music tower, and the S-Class Illusion Master appeared. The audience immediately gasped. Is that really the master? I've only seen him on TV. I never expected to see the real person. He subtly waved his hand, signaling to the ground, and in an instant, there was a transformation. The audience cheered. What a master! Just with a move, he made the ground shake and the sky change. As you can see, this is a special arena that the master has prepared specifically for the competition, equipped with a shield set up by the master himself. The audience doesn't need to worry about being affected by the force waves during each match. If the arena gets damaged, the master will repair it so everyone can confidently showcase their abilities and comfortably compete to the fullest. Finally, the gem in front of everyone must be worn during the competition, not only to confirm their status as contestants, but also for protection. At crucial moments, the contestants were buzzing. Just a wave of his hand created the terrain. This is the power of S-Class, right? Indeed, only by seeing it in person can one understand its astonishing level. Chu frowned, thinking to himself, I heard that S-Class power is equivalent to divine strength. I never expected it to be this terrifying. He helplessly glanced at the sleepy god who seemed completely unconcerned. It made my tension completely dissipate. Lily excitedly pointed out that the results of the matches would be announced on the contestants' gems. So everyone, the inter-academic competition is officially starting now. Kicking off is the round of 16. The first match is between Taengan's Vung Lo and Lamcook's Tiunyin. The host exclaimed as soon as the match began it was already intense like this. Contestant Tiunyin launched a flashy move like fireworks to end the match in just 17 minutes. She announced, Let's start the second match next. In the VIP room, Ho-Vi marveled. I can't believe we got an S-Class master to support us. This year's competition is truly intense. Vung Mingvin lowered his head and continued. The gap between Level 4 and Level 3 is still so large. It's also because Level 4 can fully utilize their combat skills. Not to mention, these academies are very wealthy, so buying C-Class combat skills is not a problem. But he uncomfortably continued, they rely on high subsidies to freely provide contestants with the best combat skills and medicines, which is why they can maintain their top position multiple times. That's why they appear so relaxed. Over here, the thick-skinned principals are trying hard to flatter Principal Lee, hoping he will guide them. Please go easy on us this year. Vung Min-Vin suddenly scoffed. But this time, the situation will be different. The announcement rang out. In the fifth match, contestant Lam Tham from Vun Hodu faces contestant Lee Trek from Taengan-do. It's another dramatic battle. Contestant Lam Tham is using ghostly movement techniques to evade the fierce attacks of her opponent, truly dominating her opponent as if they were in the palm of her hand. But if you don't attack, you can't inflict any damage on your opponent. What method will Lam Tham ultimately use to win? Here on the battlefield, Lam Tham is smugly laughing. The warm-up is almost complete. As soon as the skill was activated, the host exclaimed in shock, Is this a psychic combat skill? Lam Tham is the first contestant in the history of Level E competitions to possess a psychic skill. Lee Trek gritted his teeth and struggled, unable to escape. The host assessed Lee Trek's reaction, noting that this ability is indeed a significant threat. Lam Tham immediately dashed forward. Please move aside. The host announced that using combat skills to bind the opponent before taking them down is truly versatile. The match only took 5 minutes. The audience erupted in chaos. Is this magic? Controlling the opponent and then attacking freely is truly unbeatable. The audience's reaction was also incredibly lively. Could this year's championship witness a star's rise? In the VIP room, Ho-V exclaimed in amazement. I can't believe it's a psychic ability. This is a rare power that only those from level D and above can awaken. The opponent admitted that's right. This child is a rare case of early awakening. It's said that 1 in 10,000 experiences this. The previous runner-up Principal Ao Vu standing nearby sneered. What isn't it just an early awakening of potential? As if that's something impressive. Yes, Vung Min Vian teased, if you think so lightly of it. Then what about Principal Ao before? It cost a lot to recruit Lam Tam's people. Lam Tam told me about his situation and even complained that he was very sticky. This made him blush with embarrassment. Enough, Lee shouted to stop it. It's just an early awakening after all. The host announced that the 6th match is Vung Trak from Thu Quang Du against, what was it again? In just 5 seconds, a single blow took down the opponent. Just as they were about to attack, the contestant Vung Trak defeated them in the blink of an eye. This is the strength of Thu Quang Du Academy, the one who has dominated the championship for 3 consecutive seasons. The audience couldn't help but be astonished. To be taken down in an instant is truly impressive. Only Thuk Quang Du could achieve this. It seems this year's championship will be taken by Thuk Quang Du. On the battlefield, Vung Trak arrogantly remarked, it seems this year's competition is no longer exciting. Boring, Principal Ao Vu shouted in delight. No wonder they are students personally trained by Principal Lee. Their strength is on a completely different level. Lee snorted coldly, disdainfully saying, I think I already mentioned this. The louder a dog barks, the more it thinks it's great, right? Vung Min Vian glared. Just wait and see. Standing in the middle, Ho-V was confused, thinking to himself that he couldn't intervene in this battle at all. His face darkened. Anyway, with our abilities at Lai, just getting a spot to participate is already a great achievement. As long as Chu can win even one match, even just with a standout performance, that would be a huge win. The host announces the victory. The 7th match belongs to the disciple of the sect, extending the time by 20 minutes. Everyone take a little break. Coming up next is the final showdown of the first round. Chu starts to warm up unexpectedly. It's me in the final match. I wonder what my opponent will be like. The Dark God approaches, questioning why not borrow strength to end the match, no matter who it is. Chu explains that in previous years, students at this stage could only reach level 4 at most. If they borrowed strength to reach level 5, it would attract too much attention, and if investigated, it would lead to big trouble. At this moment, he encounters a girl who sighs in frustration. What a drag you ended up in the final match. Chu takes the initiative to speak, you're the one from the previous match. She reminds him that his opponent is Loi Triet from Trongsun, and this guy is one of the top contenders for this year's championship. His signature skill is the Thunderstorm Fury. If he uses all his strength, even a low-level D-rank fighter wouldn't be able to withstand it. He casually asks, isn't it a problem to use such a strong skill in a low-level match? Then there shouldn't be any issues, right? Lam Tam replies that the protective gem taken before the match can block one critical hit, but the body will definitely feel uncomfortable afterward. Competing for the Academy's funding is indeed brutal like that. Chu politely responds, thanking her for the reminder, but asks why she wants to help him. Lam Tam slightly bows. Our principal is friends with yours, so I'll consider myself your ally for now. The goal is to seize the #1 position from those Chow Chow at the top. Right, she says, waving her hand dismissively, initially hoping he could play the role of an ally, at least help handle a few things. But if the opponent is Loi Triet, that's tough. I just hope you can wear him out as much as possible. Good luck in the match. Chu feels a pang of anxiety, thinking, is Loi Triet really that formidable? The announcement rings out. The final match of the first round is about to begin. I bet everyone has been waiting anxiously, right? He cautiously steps onto the stage and the audience immediately buzzes. Finally, it's here. The final match is so exciting. They cheer enthusiastically, never expecting it to be the last match. It's truly reached a peak of drama, the host exclaims loudly. Let's welcome the one who will fight in the final match, Chu. For a moment, Chu is stunned, not expecting to be welcomed so warmly. But in the next second, reality hits him hard. A competitor, Loi Triet, Chu realizes they weren't talking about him. A beam of light suddenly flashes, and the audience in the stand stands up in unison. A young man with striking blonde hair appears looking muscular. Chu cautiously turns his head, narrowing his eyes at the host, who exclaims, Unexpectedly, the final battle is between the competitor Loi Triet from Trongsun. It's said that Loi Triet became a fighter in just 4 years, achieving level 4 at the age of 52, not to mention having received honors like state certifications and invitations from guilds. He can be called a genius of the new era, and that's not wrong. The audience chants loudly, Loi Triet, Loi Triet. A large number of female fans cheer passionately for Loi Triet. Luoju, feeling anxious, realized that the opponent even had a fan club, but there was no one cheering for Chushen. The person behind him saw this and immediately interjected. Isn't that obvious? Our Luoji is not only handsome, but also strong. It's unusual for him not to have fans unlike that rival. Just looking at him, you can tell he has a bad personality and likes to show off. Who would like someone like that? At this remark, Ludendian immediately got annoyed and snapped, Who said Chushen doesn't have fans? I'm a fan of Chushen. Chushen is both gentle and strong. Just look at Luoji's ostentatiousness to know he has a bad character. The opponent wasn't backing down either. She argued back, Are you saying bad things about our Luoji? She firmly rebutted that she had judged Chushen based on appearances before, but between them, a silent battle was brewing. The girl shouted loudly, Go Luoji! Go Luoji! Lu Dendian, not wanting to lose, also shouted, Go Chushen! Go Chushen! The classmates were amazed. It was the first time they saw the class monitor being so cool. What's going on? Someone asked. Who knows? The host announced that the cheers were endless, and everyone was looking forward to seeing how this talented boy would perform in the match. Could he shake the top-ranking Kwangdu he had been at the top for many years? All right, amidst the lively cheers, let's officially get started. Lilian forced a smile and reminded the senior, Did you forget there are still contestants who haven't been introduced? The male MC was startled, realizing he was too excited with the audience, and momentarily forgot. He blushed and continued, Sorry, next up, let me introduce. Standing opposite contestant Luoji is contestant Chushen from Lai Dakdu. His previous achievements are no signature moves and no accomplishments in the history of Lai Dakdu. So it turns out this is a school participating for the first time, and the face is Chushen. He felt a little embarrassed. Perhaps he should have bought a fighting move. In the stands, a large number of spectators were debating that this school was participating for the first time. No wonder I didn't have an impression of this type of school. They probably used up all their resources just to level one person up to level 4. No wonder they don't even have battle skills. Then, what are they even fighting for? It's such a pity, a great opportunity for a final match. I thought we would see Luoji's ultimate move. A girl, feeling confident, laughed loudly. So you guys are first-timers, huh? In the VIP room, Ovu provocatively remarked, I didn't expect to run into Luoji from our school on the very first try. Looks like you guys are going home empty-handed. I feel so sorry for you. Ho Vai, feeling tense, frowned. Wang Ming Yuan, seeing this, encouraged, Don't mind him. Every school has its first time. On the battlefield, Luoji disdainfully asked, You are Chushen, right? I heard your school is participating in the exchange for the first time, right? You just leveled up to level 4, and now you run into me. What bad luck you have. He was smug, thinking that Chushen should understand that being a genius means carrying many expectations. There are many things you can't decide for yourself. Although I sympathize with you, I can't let victory slip away from my hands. Chushen bluntly interrupted, No need for that, we just need to fight normally. Luoju then jumped up, proudly leaning close to Chushen. All right, I'll use only 1/10 of my strength to start. Let's warm up a bit. If it's your first match, it should have some back and forth. At least lose gracefully, right? Loi Triet didn't forget to remind you to seize that opportunity, okay? This left Chushen speechless. He said it was just a normal fight. The male MC gasped, shouting, What just happened? Contestant Loi Triet had suddenly appeared next to Chushen and immediately created distance again. Could it be that he couldn't hold back the urge to determine the winner? Enough talk. I declare the final match of Stage 1 has begun. Let's get started. As his words fell, a shadow vanished from the arena. Loi Triet suddenly appeared behind Chushen, aiming a punch straight at his face. In no time, Loi Triet unleashed a flurry of moves. The male MC exclaimed, Oh my, what kind of special technique is this? Contestant Loi Triet seemed to multiply into 2, 3, or even more figures, as if all were attacking at once. Could all of this be due to his incredible speed? Creating afterimages, contestant Loi Triet has already shown us such terrifying agility in the first match. It seems this championship battle will be quite a spectacle. Lam Tam stood aside, sighing. This Loi Triet is really tough, while Vuong Trak remained silent and contemplative. Vuong Gang Tres Ice. Alvu smiled satisfied. Loi Triet's strength is not just this. It took a lot of effort to find a talent like him. At this level, no one can match him. Right now, Loi Triet smirked, questioning, why are you standing still? Can't even keep up with 1/10 of my speed. He was right to boast. After all, only someone at Vuong Trak's level is worthy of being my opponent. It's really tough for you. Well then, goodbye. Loi Triet immediately launched a decisive blow. Chushin coldly asked, aren't you going to jump anymore? The next scene made him roll his eyes. He decisively punched Chushin straight in the face, leaving the two hosts stunned and Lam Tham frozen in fear. Vuong Trak widened his eyes while Liu Dian gasped. A fan shouted in shock as Loi Triet was pummeled, losing his ability to fight back. The male MC stammered. What just happened? Contestant Chushin, in the blink of an eye, threw a light punch that neutralized Loi Triet's move. With Loi Triet's speed, dodging should have been easy. Was he careless, or could he really not dodge? From the stands, female fans shouted, scolding, how could you hit Loi Triet, big brother? How shameless! How could someone like this hit Loi Triet? It must be cheating. Chushin, not understanding what was happening, saw he wasn't attacking, and decided to strike first in this match. There can't be any strange unwritten rules, right? Like who gets to strike first or something. In the waiting room, Vuong Minvin excitedly exclaimed, that was a strong hit. The old master's student is not to be underestimated. Avu angrily asserted, no one at level 4 has speed faster than Loi Triet. There's no way he could train a contestant like that. You must have hired someone to fight for you. Hovi calmly replied, if I had hired someone, do you think the higher-ups responsible for checking wouldn't have noticed? Or maybe you should just make yourself smarter than them, he shouted. Mr. Lai angrily interrupted the noisy commotion. What kind of nonsense is this? He expected to emphasize that the match wasn't over yet. The host announced the final match of the first round, but before he could finish his loud call, he was interrupted. Wait! As Loi Triet stood up, asserting that he hadn't lost yet. The male MC was taken aback, standing up as the contestant Loi Triet also stood up. The match continued, his eyes flashing with a terrifying killing intent. Loi Triet sneered, saying he was only using 1/10 of his strength. I've underestimated you too much. Next, I won't hold back anymore. He unleashed his power, shouting, my thunderous strength is about to burst forth. Let my lightning echo throughout the entire arena. Standing aside, Chuthan couldn't help but marvel at the intense energy. A sudden flash of light shot towards him, causing him to move back in an instant. The arena had now descended into chaos. The host realized with suspicion that the contestant Loi Triet was taking advantage of the protective shield on the stage to continuously accelerate. Is he about to unleash that move? He was stunned, standing up abruptly, praising Loi Triet's famous combat technique. So cool! Loi Triet arrogantly snorted, come at me! He decisively launched the Loi Ke Bao Liet attack, but right after that, Loi Triet took a full punch from Chuthan, immediately being sent flying away. Chuthan sternly reminded him, you should have attacked earlier, take advantage before I get used to your speed. The host announced that contestant Loi Triet had been knocked out by contestant Chuthan, and the energy stone of contestant Loi Triet turned red, meaning he was completely unable to fight back. He stammered, because. So the final match of the first round in Group 4 goes to Chuthan. Chuthan sighed in relief, almost unable to contain himself. But there's no protective energy stone, right? The audience in the stands buzzed, wondering how he managed to do that. That was so fast, I didn't even get a good look at the match schedule. The second quarterfinal quickly began with the participation of Van Ho Du Lam and Tam with Tin Loan and Du Ton Min. The results were announced. Lam Tam won the third quarterfinal against Thu Quang, defeating Vuong Trak, with Thu Quang defeating Hao Vuong, Trak winning against his classmates from the same school. Chuthan was in a debate. They're from the same academy, right? They didn't give it their all, did they? He won with just one blow. Don't worry about him anymore. The next match will be Chuthan. Vuong Trak suddenly glared, his killing intent boiling. causing the two classmates to be frightened and pale. The fourth quarterfinal saw Lai Dak facing Chu Thon against Lam Cook and Tiu Nien. The male MC marveled at Tiu Nien's explosive power, truly deserving of its reputation, with tricky angles that were very hard to defend against. But Chu Thon's ability to dodge seemed to predict the opponent's trajectory. The speed! It was so fast that it left people no time to react. Chu Thon only threw one blow, and he had to shout loudly, "Chu Thon wins!" In the waiting room, the two men couldn't help but doubt. This Chu Thon seems like he hasn't used any combat techniques from the beginning, right? He's just using energy to enhance his body parts and attack his opponent. Strong, yes, he controls his energy very well, but there's nothing remarkable in terms of technique. One person speculated, could it be that his actual level isn't just level 4? Is he intentionally lowering it to participate in the competition, or has he used some kind of forbidden drug to enhance his abilities? But no matter how you look at it, that would violate the rules of the competition. The announcer for the next battle just informed that the first semi-final will be between Lai and Chu, with Kwang and Lu Nuit as the competitors. Suddenly, two men in black appeared in the arena, startling him. What on earth is happening? The audience in the stands was also terrified. Who are these people and what are they doing here? The man in black proactively presented a strange machine. Put this on. After donning it, a wave of overwhelming energy was released, leaving some students in shock as they observed the situation. It looks like they are envoys from the central district of the city. Aren't envoys responsible for measuring the levels of the competitors? Could it be that Chu isn't actually level 4? No wonder he's so formidable. Could it be that someone is fighting in his place? Chu felt a pang of regret, thinking he might have overdone it this time. It seems he needs to be more cautious in the future and not stand out too much. The monitor displayed the name of the contestant Chu, a student from the Lai Academy, in stable condition. Level E4. The man in black loudly confirmed the level. There was no reaction from the contestant's body to the substances, which further shocked the male MC. The envoy confirmed that contestant Chu's level is indeed E4. Next, the match began, and the students were immediately stunned by one person's intense reaction. What, he has defeated so many opponents in a row. Is he really just level 4? The first semi-final begins. Kwang and Lu Nguyen face off against Lai and Chu. Lu Nguyen is worried. Is this guy really that powerful? In the next moment, he took a devastating hit. What was that? Another strike from Kwang. Lu Nguyen lost. The announcer excitedly shouted, "Incredible contestant Chu has won once again." He advances straight to the finals. Lily cheered with her eyes sparkling. Go, go! In the waiting room, Vung Min Vien couldn't believe it, commenting that his old student was truly exceptional. Ho Vi forced a smile and admitted, "That's right." Two principals approached, flattering and congratulating Principal Ho, surprised that Lai Academy has produced such a promising talent this year. "I've always heard you are dedicated to your work, and now seeing such an outstanding student. Indeed, your reputation is well-deserved. We all have much to learn from you." Ovu shot a hateful glare at the two, annoyed, while Ho Vi confidently nodded. Who would have thought that in his first competition, Chu would make it to the finals? You really haven't disappointed me, Chu. The second semi-final features Kwang against Vung Trak. Lam Tam cautiously stepped onto the stage. Finally, it's the finals. For the honor of the Academy, I absolutely cannot lose. She took a few steps closer to Vung Trak. He stared at her coldly. The announcer declared the match between the E4 schools has begun, with only 3 contestants left: Chu Lam Tam and Vung Trak. The female students from the same school cheered for Lam Tam. "Go, senior, you will win." Vung Trak shot her an annoyed glance, his eyes flashing with a hint of hostility. This is my chance. Taking advantage of his moment of distraction, Lam Tam boldly launched her technique, Lu Vun Tu. Vung Trak showed no reaction at that moment, leaving Lam Tam stunned and gritting her teeth. How could it have no effect at all? Vung Trak smirked, tightening his grip on her hand. "Are you quite famous?" Lam Tam struggled, attacking his face. "What does that have to do with you?" Vung Trak laughed dismissively. "It's nothing, just found it amusing." Lam Tam, despite being restrained, refused to give up. She secretly executed her ultimate move, and in an instant Vung Trak was enveloped. Lam Tam decisively unleashed her technique, Fong Lim Cook, but she winced in pain, clutching her injured arm. Very good. Everything hit the target this time for sure. But Vung Trak seemed completely unfazed as he casually appeared behind her. The blue cat was so frightened that it turned around and he coldly unleashed a devastating attack. She was instantly punched, leaving her battered. The host commented that both sides were truly skilled. Indeed, the semifinals were a whole different battlefield, yet Vung Trak remained unscathed. It's truly a monster. A female student sitting in the stands burst into tears, calling out to her senior Vuong Minh Vien, who stood in the waiting room, dazed, cheering for Lam Tum to keep trying. Lam Tum was covered in injuries. She sat limply on the floor, the lucky charm lying still beneath her. In pain, she opened her eyes, thinking she couldn't fall yet. Memories flooded back to a rainy day at the familiar school. Lam Tam walked into the classroom, confused. What is everyone doing here? It's time for practice. A female student sobbed, "If the academy stops funding, I have to go work. I want to continue studying and become a great artist." But Lam Tam just laughed heartily at that. She quickly regained her spirit and told them not to worry. "I promise I will definitely win." The championship of the regional exchange competition. By then, the education department won't cut our academy's funding anymore, and everyone will be able to continue studying. The female student tilted her head, believing her. "Really?" Lam Tam confidently affirmed. "Of course, have I ever lied to you?" The female student suddenly remembered and rummaged through her jacket pocket. "That's right." A female student handed a lucky charm to Lam Tam. "This is a talisman my mom made for me. I hope it brings you luck. I will always support you." Another chimed in. "That's right. Let's go and give our seniors some strength." Lam Tam, filled with hope, tightly grasped the talisman. "All right, let's do this." Back in the present, Lam Tam stubbornly mumbled, "All right, let's do this." She used her last bit of strength to reach for the talisman, but Vuong Trak stomped on it, asking, "Are you really risking it for this?" He coldly kicked her hard. How pathetic those who support you still dare to cheer. The host announced that the system detected Lam Tam's combat energy had turned red, meaning she had lost her fighting ability. Vuong Trak wins. Vuong Trak has gathered strength into his heel. This is the end for the hero of Van Ho, the MC shouted in horror. "Stop, the match is over." "I hope someone stops him." In fear, she shut her eyes tight. "Don't." The audience reacted fiercely. What does he want to do? Vuong Minh Vien turned pale and shouted, "Stop you." The man in black tense reported, "Master, we can't let this turn into a murder." Boknyak calmly shook his head. "No need." He slowly opened his eyes, his gaze fixating on a point. The kick Vuong Trak just threw caused quite a stir. Juthan appeared just in time, carrying Lam Tam away, bullying those who couldn't resist. "This is the style of The Kwang, isn't it?" Vuong Trak angrily turned back. "You? He still calls me Chu Than." The MC unexpectedly announced, "Chu Than is Chu Than." He saved Lam Tam at the crucial moment. Lai sighed in relief. "That's great." Vuong Minh Vien rushed over from afar, thanking heaven and earth. The audience shouted insults. "How outrageous, he even wants to kill. Chuthan, keep it up in the finals. You must teach him a painful lesson." Vuong Trak arrogantly shrugged. "Anyone can come." Adding or subtracting one person doesn't change anything. Chuthan coldly looked at him, challenging. "Is that so? Then let's see." Very soon after, Lam Tam was taken away. The host reminded everyone that since both contestants agreed to go directly to the finals to ensure the finals went smoothly, they asked the staff to quickly restore the status of the arena. "Thank you all for your cooperation." In the stands, Tam Jiatui was astonished to realize, "Isn't that Chu Than's friend?" Restoring the battlefield, he thanked everyone for their cooperation. On the stands, Tam Jiatui was astonished to realize this was none other than Chu's friend. Liu is currently holding a cheerleading board, and she suddenly asks, "Are you guys the key class? You're curious about how things are going, huh?" Liu replies that Chu has made it to the finals looking worried as she bites her lip, but the opponent in the finals seems tough. Vuong Minh Vien leaves in frustration. He doesn't forget to remind everyone that having a crazy guy like this participate is just baffling. What does that Li think? Old ho, you need to keep an eye on this. Chu needs to be careful in the ring. Chu confidently reassures, "Don't worry." Vuong Trak provocatively says, With your background and resources, you really don't think you have a chance to win, do you? Chu, annoyed, interrupts right from the start of the battle. You really talk a lot, he says, narrowing his eyes. Are you planning to fight, or what? The opponent says nothing, his eyes clearly showing resentment. The host announces that everything is ready, and I declare the match to begin. Vung Trak suddenly jumps up. He instantly disappears from the ring, throwing a powerful punch aimed straight at Chu's face. In a blink, he and Chu are facing off. Vung Trak sneers. I thought you were strong. Chu calmly replies, making his face go pale. That should be my line, he retorts, questioning how someone with such a level could be a champion. With that, he immediately reaches out toward him. Vung Trak stubbornly unleashes his blood cost technique, and a tense battle ensues between them. The host Nam MC exclaims in shock, I've been in this profession for over 15 years. But I've never seen a level 4 match like this. It's hard to imagine. Lai is participating for the first time, exclaiming, Wow, this is amazing. The classmates in the stands realize that it's Chu, and Tham Jiatui frowns. Turns out he was always holding back when training with us. Ma Van Hao, sweating in shock, thinks, We're only one level apart, yet the gap in strength is this huge. Over here, Vung Trak is at a disadvantage. He can't dodge Chu's attack in time as a punch lands, and Vung Trak is quickly knocked down. Teacher Trung exclaims in astonishment. Although I knew Chu had a solid foundation, I didn't expect him to fight like this. Against an opponent with top-tier resources, Vung Trak is in pain, his eyes wide open. I'm injured now. He can't believe it, thinking, how did I end up being beaten by this guy? Vung Trak, momentarily furious, uses his blood cost technique, growling as he charges at him. Chu can't help but feel pleased, surprised that he can unleash his potential like this, forcing himself to gain strength. This is what they call a battle technique. How interesting. A shadow suddenly darts toward Chu, who quickly realizes. His speed has increased, but it's useless against my perception. Focusing his mind can significantly enhance his sensing ability, which activates. The man in black panics and reports. Vung Trak's energy is increasing rapidly. Master, do we need to check Vung Trak's level? Boknyak calmly explains that this player has used this technique before. It's the blood cost technique from the Vung family. Using this technique can temporarily enhance body parts, allowing one to surpass their own level. This time, he's applying this technique to his whole body. It's not a violation. The man in black realizes he has been careless. He only applied this technique all over his body. Not violating any rules, the man in black realized that I had been careless. He continued speaking, but it seemed that the competitor was still. Since the match began, he hasn't shown his full strength, and I'm curious about how far he can go on the battlefield as Chu Shen and Wang Zhuo continuously clash. Shen Jiashui worriedly said, It's happening too fast. I can't see clearly anymore. Chu Shen is at a disadvantage while Ma Wenhao nervously countered, No, he's leading Wang Zhuo's moves. At this moment, Wang Zhuo completely lost it and charged at Chu Shen, who easily dodged his punch. A glint of killing intent flashed in his eyes, and Chu Shen immediately struck back. He punched straight into Wang Zhuo's arm, who then put all his strength into his legs and decisively stomped down on the ground. In an instant, he used his hand to block the attack, gritting his teeth in frustration. In the same rank, you're the first person who can fight me like this, but... He unleashed his power, affirming, I am the strongest. Chu Shen frowned and asked, Is this all the tricks you have? He scoffed, using an activated skill borrowing force with no more than 6 uses left. Wang Zhuo gritted his teeth and executed a blood sacrifice, charging at Chu Shen, who refused to back down and used borrowed force. The clash between the two immediately ensued, and Chu Shen's keen eyes sensed it. I could clearly see every move he made, and I was sure the weakness was in his heart. Without hesitation, Chu Shen elbowed him hard in the chest, causing Wang Zhuo to scream in pain. His face turned pale, and Chu Shen seized the opportunity to attack, continuously punching him. Wang Zhuo, in disbelief, wondered how his speed and strength were still increasing. He despaired and cried out, No way, no way. Wang Zhuo stubbornly unleashed his power, declaring, I am the strongest. Chu Shen tightened his fist. This is the end. Suddenly, he lunged forward to attack recklessly, and a massive explosion occurred, causing a tremendous shockwave that shattered the arena. Hoei anxiously shouted, "What happened?" Through the thick fog, a tall figure gradually emerged, and the announcer declared, "Competitor Wang Zhuo is down. Competitor Wang Zhuo is standing." Wait, that's not right. Competitor Wang Zhuo has lost his fighting ability, yet he still stands. Congratulations to competitor Chu Shen for winning the 4th level group competition. Lai Daku's score will also have a historic comeback, ultimately securing the championship with 200 points. Lai Daku 200 points, Thu Quang Du 160 points, Ven Ho Du Werte 30 Wime. Points, Chung Quang Du 100 points. This is the first time since the interregional exchange competition was held that an academy in the border area has won the championship in China. The students exclaimed joyfully, "That's amazing! We have someone this strong in our suburban area." We won, we won. Chu Shen is truly impressive. He deserves to be our boss. I knew he could do it. Teacher Zhang, with his eyes closed, shouted, "Chu Shen makes us so proud." Hoei clenched his fists in encouragement. "Great job, Chu Shen." He was so moved that tears fell. Finally, this time, "We no longer have to rely on others for support," Teacher Zhang said, speechless. "Is that the point?" Over here, the two principals were calling out to each other. Principal Ho was still down there. We should hurry to congratulate him. Li shouted angrily, cursing, "Damn it," and hurriedly ran after him. "Wait, I'm going too." His words shocked Bai No, who calmly turned around. "So the match has ended. I should head back now. The next tasks will be handled by you." The man in black replied, "Understood. You've worked hard." He walked away thinking that this competitor named Chu Shen seemed interesting. Bai No suddenly stopped. Two figures standing nearby caught his attention. Bai No frowned. "So she came too. Could it be that you came because of Chu Shen?" The man marveled, surprised that even the outskirts, which had been lagging behind, could produce such an outstanding talent. No wonder she came to watch the match. He glanced at his opponent, Lam An, who he heard was acquainted with her. Did she have a solid chance of pulling him into Gil? She honestly replied, "I used to be neighbors with him when we were kids, but then I moved, so we lost touch. The last time I ran into him in the Black Water area, he didn't seem to recognize me." Lam An was determined, but when it came to pulling him into the guild, I would give it my all. The award ceremony was quickly set up, and Hovi proudly spoke up about Lai Dadu in this remote area. But today, we proved with our strength that even a small place can nurture a golden phoenix. The reporters reminded the player Chu Shen to look into the camera. He felt helpless and forced to smile, feeling more exhausted than during the competition. The next day in the principal's office, Hovi contentedly said, "Chu Shen, I really owe you this time." He held a piece of black stone in his hand, a miracle from the outskirts. Lai Dadu's black horse suddenly appeared. "This is what I promised to give you before. If this can help you." I believe the first-generation principal would be very pleased. The god of war finally got what he wanted. Hovi said with a hint of sadness, "It won't be long before the major academies in the internal region will try to recruit you. When you get to the internal area, don't forget Lai Dadu." Chu Shen smiled. "Don't worry, Principal, I won't forget." The conversation ended. He quickly stepped out of the room and saw acquaintances. Chu Shen couldn't help but wonder why they were still here when school was out. Shinjathui smiled and replied, "Of course we came to find you." He happily threw his arm around Chu Shen, surprised that just after the match ended, the school had already sent out notifications. It turned out to be notifications from the 5 major academies. We all got accepted by the 5 major academies. Chu Shen felt relieved. "Congratulations. With your level, it would be strange if you weren't chosen." Shinjati replied, "It's all thanks to our leader." He suddenly became serious, clearing his throat. "As your juniors, our goals can't be this small. One day, we will become the best partners." At this, Chu Shen was confused. "What do you mean?" I2Ha explained. "He hopes to learn more from you in the future. Although the academies have different systems and subjects, we can still collaborate during extracurricular activities. Plus, I'll have to come find you to hang out." Chu Shen quickly understood, smiling as he replied, "Of course, I also find it quite boring alone. Besides, I'll need everyone to practice combat together later." Shen Jiathi joyfully exclaimed, "Yes!" A voice unexpectedly interrupted their conversation. Lu Dian appeared determined. "Can I join you guys? I want to become stronger too." After a while, They moved together to the key class. Lu Diandian's eyes lit up. "This is the key class. Can I really study here?" She happily looked at Chu Shen, surprised that he seriously considered her request. "Thank you, Chu Shen." He smiled and replied, "I didn't do anything. I just mentioned it to the principal and he agreed right away." Lu Diandian happily bowed. "Thank you, principal, for allowing me to use these facilities." "Thank you all so much." Ho-Vi waved his hand. "No need to be polite." He calmly continued, "I plan to lift the restrictions on the key class so that all students can comfortably use the training equipment. This includes many things like educational benefits, which will need to be revised in the future. The school renovations have also been scheduled. With funding from the first-place prize in the exchange competition, the principal can finally do what he wanted to do before. Everything is thanks to everyone's efforts." Ho-Vi looked at the talented students with satisfaction. "Thank you, Tui, for getting so emotional and crying, but I can't help but feel frustrated that the school only upgraded to this fancy setup after I graduated. I can't enjoy this. Damn it, Van Hao. Can you please be quiet and not ruin the atmosphere?" Ho-Vi chuckled and replied, "You guys can always come back to visit the school later." Totuha tilted her head curiously and asked, "Hey, Tiu Dindin, why do you suddenly want to train so hard? The school is already on break after the competition." Tham Jatui was also surprised and wondered, "Since when did you and Tiu Dindin get so close?" She blushed and explained, "Honestly, I didn't think I had any talent, so I just went with the flow. But after seeing you guys fight passionately for your dreams, I've made my decision. I want to be as cool as you all. I'm pretty confident in social sciences, so I'm planning to apply to a prestigious academy as a gifted student. As a gifted student, I only need to be in middle school, and with a month left until registration, I want to take a chance. Even if I fail, it's okay." Hearing this, Totu Ha's eyes were filled with tears as she resolutely said, "I'll help you with everything I can. You can definitely do it." Liu Diandian happily replied, "Thank you, Tio Ha." "Thanks a lot." The rest of the classmates chimed in. Tam Jia Tui turned to Chu Than and asked, "What about you, Chu Than? Do you have any plans? Have you chosen a school yet?" He replied honestly, "I haven't received my notification yet." This left Tam Jia Tui stunned, questioning, "What? How can that be? I received my notification right after the competition ended. Even we got selected by the 5 prestigious academies. There's no way you wouldn't have been accepted somewhere." Looking at them, Chu Than added, "I'm not sure either." Ho-Vi cleared his throat a bit and quietly called out to Chu Than about this. "I was just about to tell you." Ho-Vi handed over a red envelope. "This is your acceptance letter that just arrived today." Tam Jia Tui excitedly threw his arm around Chu Than. "I told you, there's no way you wouldn't get into a school. Quick check which academy it is among the 5 prestigious ones." Chu Than opened the letter, and a large line read, "Professional Academy of Illusions. Congratulations, Chu Than. Dear Chu Than, your outstanding qualifications have left a deep impression on us. After discussion, we are honored to inform you that you have been granted admission to the Academy of Illusions for advanced studies. This letter comes with your admission card. Please read the following points carefully. If you accept this opportunity, please keep this card safe and bring it to the Academy to register on September 16th, 2026. If you decide to forfeit advanced studies, simply break this card and your admission will automatically become invalid. We sincerely look forward to your presence." Tam Jia Tui was shocked to realize that the Academy of Illusions was the one that could overshadow the 5 prestigious academies. Chu Than looked confused and asked, "What does that mean?" Tham Jatui was sweating and said, "You don't know. Let me explain. Among the illusion academies in our country, there are 5 recognized as the best: Kai Min Academy, Tuvong Academy, Hongsu Academy, Tung Kung Academy, and Anfa Academy. Each academy symbolizes authority and power, holding the highest privileges. However, the only academy that can dominate these 5 is... Each academy symbolizes authority and immense power, holding supreme rights, yet only one academy can dominate these 5 academies. The Tem family confirmed that this is indeed the Academy for Extermination, and if you're a student, the Academy values you so much that they might even prioritize you over the 5 major academies. You have to obediently line up," and Chu Shen, confused, asked why the Academy for Extermination holds such a high status. Why is it that the best academies in the country only have 5 schools and not 6? Hovi interjected. It's because the value of the Academy for Extermination is something that those 5 major academies can't compare to. It's incomparable. That school was established specifically to deal with the rifts. Who would have thought the rift, he said sternly, is actually under a confidentiality agreement from the central government. The existence of the rift cannot be disclosed to the outside world, but since you all have the qualifications for the inner zone, I think mentioning it simply won't hurt. Liu Dindin hesitated. I still don't have the qualifications to enter the inner zone. Should I just stay away? Hovi shook his head. No need. Just don't say anything. Simply put, the rift is a vast world within it. It's filled with creatures that are as powerful as the summoned beasts, because the rift is two-dimensional, and creatures can also escape from the rift. Once they get out, the consequences are unimaginable. So when the rift appears, summoned beasts need to go there to exterminate these creatures. Although exterminating the rift can bring a lot of fame and fortune, the dangers far exceed imagination. I was once a member of the rift extermination team, but during one mission, the team suffered heavy casualties, and Hovi sadly recalled that chaotic scene. In the end, due to a key member being seriously injured and suffering severe after effects, the team could not bear the responsibility and morale collapsed, leading to a reluctant disbandment. Although other academies also require students to interact with the rift to complete their entrance exams, the difficulty of the entrance exam and the casualty rate at the Academy for Extermination are the highest. I advise you to seriously consider whether you really want to go. The Academy for Extermination has the priority to recruit. Even if you refuse, it's okay. Other academies will look for you. I don't hope you sacrifice yourself uselessly without knowing. And Chushen firmly asserted that he wanted to go. He thought to himself, how could I miss a place where I can make money and become stronger? Hovi nodded in satisfaction. I knew you would say that. I have a feeling you will become an outstanding warrior. Tom Jiatui proudly put his arm around Chushen. We won't fall behind either as long as we all become stronger together. Then we don't have to worry about the rift anymore, right? He agreed. Chushen suddenly remembered. By the way, the date on the notice seems to be September 16th, right? Today is the 6th, and there are only 10 days left. Isn't it usually a 6-month break for preparation? The notice clearly states September 16th, 2026. Hovi smiled. The Academy for Extermination has its own operational system, so it can't be compared to traditional academies. Chushen hurriedly left. I need to prepare. Sorry, I can't help the class monitor practice. The classmates waved their hands. Don't worry, just leave it to us. After a while, he returned to the familiar old apartment. Chushen quietly read the paper in his hand about clothes and shoes. What else do I need to bring besides an umbrella? His gaze suddenly landed on the brilliant purple flame in front of him. The spirit was facing the mysterious black stone, cautiously pointing at it. Before long, the stone reacted, and the spirit directly absorbed all the power from the stone. The stone fell to the ground and immediately shattered into pieces. Chushen exclaimed in shock, My crystal! Chushen burst into tears. Why did the crystal turn into this? I was planning to take a little money with me. The spirit explained nonchalantly. I took the power from this stone. It's not worth much. Didn't you say you were going to school to work? What's wrong? The deity responded to me saying that the illusion was broken. I heard that place might have the best resources to pay off debts and become stronger, but the only issue is dealing with the dangerous waters there. Even if it's just an illusion, I still have to be cautious. I calmly continued saying that the waters aren't scary at all. Illusions and creatures in the waters are essentially the same thing, because you have become the essence of the illusion which is derived from the waters. Is the deity's smile really that frightening? So does the boss have any rewards that can save my life? I see that a wish has been fulfilled. The wish list has received the black crystal completed. I glared at you, thinking you see me as a toy cat. You reach out and demand it, but the waters also have a goal. This time, I reluctantly help you. Through the crystal, I regained some strength just in time to reward you with this. Kid, hold on a bit. As soon as it dropped, a massive dark power surged. Quickly enveloped the deity's body. The notification sounds continuously. Fragments of creative power are connecting with you. The authority is checking your body. Check successful. Body level E level 4 has received the awareness of the authority. The deity is reconstructing the authority structure, successfully transforming it. The optimal enhancement structure has been completed. The authority checked and found that the residual essence has automatically transformed into a successful level upgrade. Level 6 has been completed and has received the authority fragment of creative power. The deity is suspicious. What is this fragment of creative power? The information display hints. The fragment of creative power is one of the fragments of the demon god of creation, Satostro. The holder can gain creative power. I wonder what it has done to my body. And what about this demon god of creation? The dark god explained seriously, Satosto is my old friend. This creative power is a gift he gave me. It can excavate the potential of the authority. At the same time, it creates power suitable for the authority and can even change the race or body. The previous reward I gave may not be suitable for you. So I decided to share a bit of creative power with you. Then you can also create your own strength. The deity realized that if it was for the upgrade, I wouldn't need to give such a troublesome thing. I was annoyed and scolded. How foolish do you think level is everything? It continued, for illusions like you, level only affects basic physical qualities. After reaching level D, the potential awakening for the first time is what truly matters. If the potential is normal, then a higher level won't be much stronger. I give you creative power. It's because I'm afraid you might awaken your potential. If you're too weak, it won't be of any use to me. The deity thought of contestant Lam Tham, who had awakened potential, a system of special abilities that is the potential power of 1 star. Compared to that, combat skills have become more common and easier to encounter. If you want to deal with the water's potential is indeed more important. Otherwise, just dealing with one monster is already difficult. People remind that the power of creative authority is often related to the awareness of the authority. It's pointless to talk too much. You just need to try it yourself to know. The deity admitted that I really couldn't feel my body absorbing the essence anymore. It seems that this fragment has truly transformed my body. I thought to myself that even the original system framework had turned into something like a video game before I crossed over. It looks much friendlier now. In an instant, I knew how to use it. Display information showing the authority of Chu, the bloodline of humanity. Potential not yet unlocked. Level E, level 6, physical strength. 30, no speed, no spirit. No divine consciousness has been unlocked, feeling the desire of the remaining 994 souls. Chu is curious if even the status function has other functions in the store. A notification sounds the exchange store is not unlocked. Please upgrade to level D level 7 to unlock. Please upgrade to level D level 7 management to unlock. You're really surprised, but it's too low level to unlock. Looks like I need to upgrade first. The system shows that the soul upgrade is insufficient. I can't upgrade the mysterious material obtained from the water creature. Can it be transformed into the current amount of power? Chu is startled. It can't upgrade the dark god. What's going on? I'm confused. I don't have the key item needed for the upgrade. It seems I have to go to the water source to get it. But I can't rely on absorbing energy to upgrade. With my current strength, I fear I might end up helpless against the dark god. Sai, why are you so chatty? I always feel like I'm being tied down by you. Forget it. At least one wish has been completed. Finally, I'll give you one more thing. A notification sounds the survival wish of 70 days has been completed. Remaining wishes 993. Reminder rewards have been received. Cadella's armor. Chu wonders if this is the armor fragment of Cadella, a unique piece of equipment containing one of the fragments of power. Cadella's spirit has the soul binding property. There's no need to wear battle skills. The armor can be summoned to block attacks, enhancing power when worn. Chu is delighted, continuously waving his hand. This soul-binding armor can not only defend against attacks, but also enhance my strength, even if it only covers a small part. But with such properties, what more do I need? The dark god is heartbroken, shedding tears. This reward has consumed all the power I just accumulated. I'll consider it a prior investment. You over there make sure to work hard to repay me. Chu confidently agrees, saying he will remember the boss's kindness and work well. The next morning, a taxi arrives. Hovai asks with concern if Chu is leaving today. He replies, yeah, even though the route from here to the central city only takes a day, I want to hurry to school. Hovi agrees. You probably won't be able to return from the central market for a while. If you need my help, just let me know. Chu takes out a letter and mentions this. There is indeed something I need help with, if possible. I hope you can occasionally check on my mother's condition at the hospital for me. If you see my sister, please hand this to her. He looks confused. This must be something very important, right? Why don't you deliver it to her yourself? Chu awkwardly continues. My sister and I have some conflicts. It's not convenient to look for her. Hovi neatly puts the letter in his pocket. Got it. I'll take good care of your family. Don't worry about it. Focus on your studies. Thamjia T smugly interjects. In half a year, we'll come looking for you. It's time to lead us there. Totuha waved her hand, reminding to stay in touch. Chuthan turned around and set off. After a while, the taxi stopped in front of the airport and a female staff member asked quietly, Would you like to check in for your flight to the central level? May I ask what the reason is? Chuthan replied briefly, To enroll. She was suspicious, thinking to herself that enrollment now was during the break. It wasn't the right time yet. The staff member suggested, Please present your enrollment proof. Chuthan took out a card. Is this okay? Holding the card in her hand, the staff member was shocked. This was the identity card of a special investigator from the outer level, and it was the first time she had seen one. Who would have thought this ordinary-looking teenager? She was stunned, looking up at him, realizing he was a student recruited by the special investigator. Chuthan, seeing this, couldn't help but feel confused. He actively searched through his backpack. Is this not enough? If not, we have an admission letter. The staff member was startled, stopping him. This is enough. I apologize. She pointed, inviting him to the side. After boarding the plane, just follow the flight attendant's arrangements. Chuthan asked, Don't I need to buy a ticket? The staff member replied, People coming to the central level don't need to buy tickets. Only those returning need to buy their own. Just a moment later, the plane took off, and Chuthan comfortably leaned back in his seat. Who would have thought the first-class cabin was also a privilege of the special investigator? He suddenly fell into deep thought, hoping the special investigator wouldn't disappoint him. A sudden announcement rang out. Dear passengers, the flight will arrive at the central level around 10 a.m. tomorrow. Chuthan stopped in front of the special investigator's gate, exclaiming in amazement, This is the special investigator's place. He commented that it looked very impressive. But it was a bit quiet. It didn't feel like a school at all. He peered into the reception desk and asked, Hello, is this the reception desk? Where should new students register? The other party smiled and spread his hands. Let me see your card. Looking at the card, he exclaimed, You're Chuthan, right. I've been waiting for you for a long time. Come with me. I'll take you into the school. Chuthan was confused. Wait, me? I don't think I know you. He explained, No, someone is looking for you. The receptionist stopped in front of a stone slab. We're here. Stand in the middle and touch the stone tablet with your black card. Chuthan wondered, Is there really a place like this in the mansion? Could it be a secret passage? The other person smiled. You'll find out soon. He reminded, You might feel a bit dizzy, but just hang in there. A sudden flash of light appeared, and Chuthan widened his eyes in shock. In an instant, he found himself in front of a magnificent building. This was teleportation, Chuthan realized. It turned out that earlier it wasn't the real school. The receptionist gently patted his shoulder. That's right. The location of the special investigator is further away, so we need to use the stone tablet to teleport. Junior Cho, you just arrived. There's still plenty of time to explore later. That person is waiting for us. Let's go. After a moment, he spoke up. It's right here. The receptionist waved at Miss Lam-An, the one I brought to you. Here she is. Lam-An calmly lifted her teacup. She exuded the aura of a leader. Lam-An gently spoke. Chu, it's been a while. Do you still remember me? He replied, Of course I remember. I've always wanted to find a chance to thank you, but I didn't expect you to be my senior. You've worked hard for him. I've transferred the money. The receptionist happily scratched his head. Then I won't disturb you any longer. You all take your time to chat. Chu slowly approached his senior Lam-An. Why did you specifically seek me out? Is something going on? A sudden shout rang out. Stop right there. A student appeared, blocking him. Who allowed you, a nobody from the outskirts, to get close to Miss Lam-An? Lam-An frowned. Minthen, watch your words. Chu is my guest, she kindly suggested. Let's sit down and talk. He declined. No need. Just say what you want directly. Lam-An slightly bowed her head. Then I'll be brief. Currently, our guild is short on people, so I want to invite you to join my guild. How about a price of 30 million tai? Chu immediately froze, taking out 30 million. He had heard that the rental price for a guild's avatar was determined based on strength and potential value. But normally, it would be very hard to go over 100 million bes, Minthan snapped. Miss Lamman, are you crazy? At this price, you could hire 3 top-tier B-level avatars or 3 beginner avatars. This trash from the outskirts isn't worth that price. Even if it's a joke, it shouldn't be like this. Laman's face darkened. Min Than, when did this become your decision? His face immediately turned pale. I didn't mean it like that. Lam An thought to herself, what kind of person is this kid? How could he make Lam An protect him like this? Senior Hai, who was nearby, remained silent. Lam An continued, you just arrived in the city, so you probably haven't joined any guild yet, right? This is the highest price I can offer. I hope you can see my sincerity. Chu couldn't help but hesitate. If he said he wasn't tempted, that would definitely be a lie. Even in my dreams, I wouldn't dare to think this way, but right now, I'm just a newbie at level E. Why is she doing this? He hesitated, continuing, Senior Lam An. A sudden announcement rang out. Ahem, all first-year students are requested to gather in the auditorium within 1 hour. It seems the new students have finally arrived at school. Lam An guessed. Chu, leave your luggage here for now. Later you can take it. She gently tilted her head. As for joining the guild, it might be a bit sudden, so it's normal for you to hesitate. How about this? Think it over for a bit. After the first-year class, there will be a session where seniors will guide the new students. I hope you can appoint me. Let me be in charge for you. Consider it a repayment for saving you. Having someone to help you adapt to your surroundings wouldn't be so bad, right? Chu responded to Senior Lam. I'll think about it. Lam, please take Chu to the auditorium, okay? She quickly complied. Yes, of course. Dear Miss Lam. After a while at the auditorium, a large number of contestants had gathered here. The proud blonde flipped her hair, surprised to find herself the last one to arrive. Among the first-year students, she was indeed the main character, standing out wherever she went. It had been quite a struggle to get here. He smirked, plotting, as he heard that the young lady from the Lam family was also present. A girl as naive as her is the easiest to manipulate. If I can build a good relationship with her, or even marry her, our family's fortune will surely grow. Our clan will only continue to prosper. He then shot a disdainful glance at Chu, who looked like a poor first-year student. They all seem pretty mediocre. This is great. This way I won't face as much competition. I just need to sit next to him. Then the comparison will be even more effective. Standing on the podium, the professor announced, You all are present, right? I have other matters to attend to, so I'll wrap this up quickly. He introduced himself. I'm Zhang Hui, your course advisor, but don't expect me to teach you anything proactively. I'm quite busy. My job is to arrange tests and record your achievements. Aside from some necessary activities, the school won't impose any restrictions on your schedules. I'm sure you all have been geniuses before, but here you need to let go of your past glory. You are just freshmen now. And you will face the completely unknown, which is the rift. Simply put, the rift is like a hunt. You can be both the hunter and the prey there. All types of weapons available to humanity become useless. Only the immense physical strength of the hunters and weapons made from rift materials can inflict damage. The Academy is a gathering of all top hunters. It itself is a solid defense against the rifts, and you all are the warriors on this front line. As for specific information, you can go to the library to find reading materials. Additionally, there will be combat training for the rifts in the training room every week, taught by various instructors from different fields. You can choose what you want to learn. The school has no mandatory requirements. The more you know about the rifts, the more opportunities you will have to grow stronger and survive. If you can't even adapt, then you should leave as soon as possible. Observing the students' expressions, Zhang Hui felt satisfied. There was no fear in anyone's eyes. He believed everyone had the ambition to pursue their goals, even if it meant risking their lives. You have passed the first evaluation round. Take this, it's the school's reward. As he finished speaking, a large amount of magic stones appeared, causing the students to stir. This is skill stones. Just absorb this skill stone and you can directly acquire the combat skill. I heard this stuff is really expensive. This is the first time I've seen it. Chu held the stone. That's right. This is a common skill stone. Just crush it and you can automatically comprehend it. The information board displayed, "You have acquired the common skill of insight, automatically sensing and recognizing the rift's runes. This skill allows hunters to understand the runes within the rifts. It helps everyone conquer the rifts better," Zhang Hui reminded, "but don't get too excited too soon. The school will arrange 2 more tests for you. The first is an entrance test for freshmen, which requires passing a low-level rift test. The second is to achieve D rank and awaken your potential within 6 months. Additionally, you need to complete 100 credits within a year." A girl exclaimed in fear, "6 months to reach D rank? But I'm only a freshman now. I don't know if I can do it." The person next to me just said that the pressure is really intense. He continued, "Even though it's not mandatory to follow the order, I suggest everyone should awaken their potential first before stepping into the golden water gap with a smug smile. Right now, I'm in year 5, and reaching level D is pretty simple for the students in this class. I doubt anyone is higher than me," thought Chu Shen anxiously about level D. "Even though I'm in year 6 now, I can't rely on supplements to level up. I need to find a way to enter the new watermark." Zhang Hai said, sternly asking everyone to be quiet for a moment. Although it might be a bit challenging to reach level D in half a year, the price of the supplements provided by the school is significantly lower than the market rate, so there's no need to worry about resources. Additionally, regarding the most important course issues, the school will also assign someone in charge to help you all move forward. A long, flowing white hair suddenly appeared, and the students immediately gasped. He introduced that these are your seniors. They will be important figures for you, responsible for evaluating first-year students. Zhang Hui pointed to the first-year students who can choose one senior to be their mentor. The mentor will arrange the entrance exam for you all. The first-year students were momentarily stunned. "She is actually... I can't believe we can really see her in person. Who is that white-haired senior?" Everyone was discussing, "Don't you know? She is the heir of the Divine Flower Guild. If you can gain her support, you might have a chance to enter the Divine Flower." Chu Xin was a bit curious about the Divine Flower Guild. A student actively stood up. "Senior Lin and I enrolled in this school because of you. Please be my mentor." Lin En coldly assessed his posture and guessed, "Looks like you're a practitioner with energy skills." She smiled slightly. "Unfortunately, I specialize in magic, so I have nothing to guide you on." Right after that, another person stood up introducing Senior Lin En. "Even though I focus on strength, I've decided to finish my magic training. I hope to receive your guidance." Lin En bluntly refused. "Sorry, I'm a pure mage with no knowledge of strength at all." A series of students then expressed their intentions to Lin En. "My goal is also to be a mage, which fits well with you. My advantage is speed. I want to become a speed mage." Seeing her continuously refuse, a female student hesitated and said, "No wonder it's the 4 great guilds. They really have high standards. I guess I'll choose another senior." Zhang Hai helplessly held his head. "This girl, Lin En." He said sternly, "Don't blame me for not reminding you. This year, you must take at least 1 new student. If not, I'll default to assigning the last student to you." Lin En was startled. "Yes, sir." Her eyes suddenly sparkled with a glimmer of hope. Chu Shen was taken aback, realizing what she wanted to say to him. The golden-haired one misunderstood and thought, "Great." The crowd in front of him had all been eliminated. He arrogantly looked at Chu Shen. Although with his looks and skills, it would be hard to be rejected even if he was turned down. His final position would definitely be handed over to the precious daughter of the Lin family. At this moment, Chu Shen stood up and said loudly, "Senior Lin En, I want to express my desire not just for knowledge, but also to stand by your side. Would you be willing to be my mentor?" "No." At this statement, Lin En's face flushed red for a moment, and the classmates looked down on him. This senior brother still hasn't learned his lesson. "It's not mine." At this, Lum's face flushed red for a moment, as his classmates looked down on him, thinking that this senior brother still hadn't memorized the lesson. How could this worthless introduction suddenly make Lam An speak up, agreeing to this, which shocked the classmates? She smiled and accepted to choose you. The blonde guy was furious, questioning how this could happen. "Only one choice, huh? What exactly are her criteria for selection?" After a moment, the scene shifted to the mission hall, and Chu Shen curiously asked, "Can I know the reason?" He was puzzled, wondering if Senior Lam An was the one who inherited the Divine Flower Guild, one of the 4 major guilds. A large guild like that wouldn't lack high-level recruiters. so why wouldn't they spare no expense to recruit someone new like me? She replied darkly, recruiting you isn't just for the guild, it's also for my personal reasons. As for the details, I'll tell you after the assessment. The first thing you need to focus on is how to pass the entrance exam I've arranged. Over there, Lam Ann gently pointed to a direction. She will be your teammate for this test. The tall man asked loudly, you are Chushen Ozon. Lam An requested everyone to introduce themselves. The first girl spoke up. My name is Tohan Rank C, Level 5, with potential as a supervisor for this test. I won't participate in the entire combat process unless a team member's life is at risk. Remember, once I intervene to save you, you'll be considered to have failed this test. Please keep this in mind. The next person introduced herself. My name is Lu Vi, Rank D. My potential is healing. I can heal everyone's wounds. The next one said, I'm True Lam. Rank 1D level, my potential is support. I handle long-range assistance. Finally, the arrogant tall guy, Lai Dewey, said, Rank D level 3 with potential to enhance weapons. I'm the captain of this team. If you want to pass the test, listen to my commands. He turned to Chushen and asked, you aren't bringing any equipment. Have you awakened some special potential? He replied, I'm Chushen, a freshman. Since I'm rank E, my potential hasn't awakened yet. Lai Dewey's face immediately changed. A freshman in rank E, you don't even have practice and you're here for the test. How is the academy divided? Aren't we just being chased? Trulum interrupted. Now that the groups are set, it doesn't matter much. Lu Vi agreed, right, if we reapply, who knows how long we'll have to wait. Li Dewey gritted his teeth in frustration. Later, you all need to keep an eye on him. Just don't let him get in my way. Lu Vi turned to look at Chushen, a freshman. Later, when we enter the waterway, you need to stick close to me. Chushen reassured her, don't worry. I have combat experience, she sighed. You don't understand. Without weapons or potential, you can't harm creatures in the waterway. Lu Vi thought helplessly, are all freshmen this arrogant lately? Soon after, Li Dewey took the lead to the work counter. Captain Lai Dewey, please submit the assessment application. The opponent operated quickly, and the application was approved for Room 1. He swiftly grabbed the shard of the world. It could actively activate the waterway passage. The waterway was activated, and Lai Dewey urged, let's go. Chushen pondered for a moment, feeling the dense energy. So, this is the bottleneck. I hope we can smoothly find the important props to level up. The announcement has sounded that we've entered the dark cave, and Vi is curious about what kind of cave this is. Right now, a strange sound came from behind them. Trulum quickly turned around. The enemy has discovered us. Lu Vi is panicking so fast. Li Dewey ordered to use the standard formation. Chuthen was a bit surprised that the formation was set up in an instant. At this moment, Tohan suddenly vanished. It seems your test has already begun. Good luck. The stealth skill is tense and shouting loudly. A large number of D-rank dark wolf monsters quickly appeared. He was shocked to realize these were dark wolves. No wonder their sense of smell is so sharp. Trulum swiftly used the skill Tat Fong Tien, shooting a barrage of arrows to injure the monsters. Li Dewey used the skill Bao Tram, striking and knocking them down. Unable to withstand a blow, he charged forward yelling, come on, you trash! This made Trulum panic. Wait, you've gone too far. Just when she let her guard down, a dark wolf suddenly lunged at her, biting her hand. Lu Vi hurriedly grabbed her staff and rushed over. I'm coming to help you heal your wounds. A dark wolf instantly appeared behind her. Lu Vi was horrified, realizing it was bad. Chuthen rushed over, in time slapping the monster away. Chuthen asked with concern, are you okay? She was astonished, stammering, the system notification shows I've received 10 souls. Chuthen suddenly realized it must be the souls from the beasts he personally killed. Only then can you obtain souls, and if this kind of exotic beast can also yield 10 soul points, Chuthen chuckled, meaning the stronger the target, the more souls. The more souls, huh? Looks like I have to go try that big one behind. Over here, Trulum is struggling to fend off attacks. This place needs healing. Lu Vi rushed over. I'm here! She quickly used her healing therapy to treat Trulum's wounds. Lu Vi hesitantly glanced at Chuthen, wondering if he was the new student who saved her earlier. I couldn't even see clearly what happened. Looking down from above, Tohan noted that everyone's overall strength isn't bad, but the coordination is a bit weak, especially that guy Li Dewey. As the team leader and vanguard, he only cares about killing for himself, completely ignoring his teammates in danger behind him. She thought that although he was high level and well equipped, it doesn't compensate for his recklessness. The situation isn't that simple. If they can't quickly reorganize their formation, this test will be tough. Li Dui was gradually losing his humanity, excitedly shouting, "This test is too easy. Without these useless trash holding me back, I could pass the test alone." A monster silently appeared behind him, and Li Dui boldly pointed his sword at its face. "Did you think you could sneak up on me without me noticing?" The guy immediately struck the monster hard on the head, realizing the impact it had. Two large, hungry rock wolves charged towards him, and in panic, he instinctively backed away. Triu Lum was astonished and asked how there could be rock wolves here. She anxiously looked around, realizing that this guy's scream had attracted the rock wolves over here. "We're surrounded," Li Dui urged Lu Vi. "What are you waiting for? Hurry up and heal me." Lu Vi hesitated, saying the distance was too far. He snapped, "Don't you have legs?" But Li Dui threatened, "If anything happens to me and I can't complete the exam, it's your responsibility." Triu Lum raised her voice to stop Lu Vi. "Don't go." A rock wolf suddenly lunged at Tohan, causing panic in the situation. "How dare you command from behind while rushing forward to save? Isn't that just asking for trouble?" She irritably drew her sword, realizing that there was no hope for the exam now. Tohan suddenly froze, her eyes widening as a hand reached out just in time to pull Lu Vi back. Chuthan used his hand to grip the monster's mouth tightly. He crushed its head directly, and the notification rang out, "Received 30 souls." Chuthan frowned, thinking that this guy was stronger than the previous rock wolf, and indeed he got more souls. Although the rock wolf had tough lava armor in front of Ma Kai's strength, it was nothing. He ordered, "You all stay close to me. I'm breaking through the encirclement." The scene before Lu Vi left her stunned. "How did you do that?" Chuthan quickly grabbed the sword and decisively charged forward, aiming straight for the monster's head. Chuthan easily dealt with it in one blow, receiving 30 souls. Another unaware monster lunged at him, but he handled it in an instant, gaining another 30 souls. Tohan exclaimed in shock, "How does this new student have such skills?" Even cooler than a D level, Triu Lum questioned whether this strength and speed could really be E level. Lu Vi urged her, "Triu Lum, let's hurry and follow." Behind them, a large number of rock wolves were closing in. The two of them ran for their lives, gritting their teeth, while Chuthan's eyes flashed with a hint of killing intent. He ordered them to lie down, and then the notifications rang out rapidly. "Received 30 souls, received 30 souls," as the monsters were torn apart mercilessly. Chuthan turned back to the two. "We should be safe for now." "Lu Vi, you're injured. Please heal yourself." Lu Vi nodded. "Understood." Triu Lum, frightened, stammered, "Who exactly is this guy?" Lu Vi treated Li Dui, who was in pain, clutching his arm. He complained, "Can you do it or not?" She encouraged him, "Just hang in there." On the other side, Triu Lum actively approached Chuthan. "I'll stand guard with you." He asked with concern, "Aren't you going to take a break?" She replied, "I'm fine." "Thanks to you, neither Lu Vi nor I got hurt," Chuthan thought, contentedly realizing he had earned more souls than expected 210 souls. He could keep this up. "Who knows, maybe." A loud shout suddenly rang out. "I said I want to get out of this exam. Why can't you understand?" Lu Vi awkwardly pleaded. It was hard to get a chance to retake the exam. Zero Lum angrily scolded Li Dui. "What are you going crazy about now?" "Kill the monsters. What are you all doing? How can you pass the exam with this mess?" She retorted. "If you hadn't rushed in so recklessly." "How did the team end up like this?" Lu Vi was tense, trying to calm Triu Lum down. "Everyone stop arguing. Let's reorganize and finish this test, okay?" Li Dui challenged. "What do you have to say? It's all your fault for being so careless that I, as the vanguard, ended up seriously injured. Without the vanguard, you wouldn't be able to do anything. That guy is so full of himself thinking he can argue with me. They need to understand how important I am if they want me to continue being the vanguard." "Then just beg me." Chuthan appeared, cutting in. "If that's the case, you wait here for us." He proactively suggested that I take on the role of the vanguard and finish the remaining test with the team, but Li Dui, furious, stood up. "You want to be the vanguard," Chuthan thought to himself. "This is a rare opportunity to enter the waterway, so we can't leave until we level up." He said sternly, "The team needs a vanguard to move forward." And I can take on the role of the vanguard. The guy scoffed, laughing loudly. You really think you can do it? Just because you killed a few lava wolves with my sword without proper gear, someone like you wouldn't even stand a chance against the final boss. Trulum interrupted. I agree with the new member. Lu Vi added, me too. This left him stunned. What Li Du questioned, do you really believe in this guy? This guy? How can someone without gear or potential pass the test? She crossed her arms firmly. I've seen his strength. It really can be tried, Lu Vi said, feeling a bit sad. It took a lot to earn the right to take this test, so I really don't want to give up. Trulum annoyed thought. At least he's much more reliable than someone who just cries and begs to back out. If you don't want to go, just stay here and wait for us. After saying that, she coldly turned her back. Newbie, let's go. Don't mind this person. Li Dui was shaking with anger, thinking to himself, I'm clearly the team leader, yet these people don't take me seriously. You all will regret this. A moment later, their group had ventured deep into the wolves' den. The monsters noticed them and rushed to attack, but they were quickly subdued by Trulum's arrows. She proudly exclaimed, I've interrupted their attack. Chuthan praised, well done. The notification sounded, received 30 souls. Received 30 souls. Lu Vi reported, there's a wolf ambushing us from the left. Trulum tightened her bow, responding, got it. Behind them, 2 monsters crept forward, but in an instant, Chuthan easily dealt with them. The system notification chimed, received 10 souls. He asked with concern, are you okay? Lu Vi happily replied, everyone is fine. It seems this is the last monster. Trulum asked excitedly, thinking back, how many monsters have we killed? Lu Vi counted about 40 or 50. She was surprised. So many. It's gone so smoothly that I didn't even notice. Lu Vi smiled, walking closer to Chuthan. Because the newbie is such a strong vanguard, we felt no pressure at all. He humbly replied, that's because everyone worked well together. Trulum enthusiastically cheered. I feel like we're almost at the final area. Let's get through this test in one go. He humbly replied to this. It's because everyone worked well together. Trulum excitedly cheered me on, saying we were almost at the final area. Let's power through this test. Lu Vi agreed, and as they walked into the cave, Trulum suddenly remembered something and mentioned it. She was curious and pressed him about the blue light that had appeared on his hand during the fight earlier. What was that? It appeared and then disappeared. I've never seen anything like it before, Lu Vi wondered. I saw that too. Chuthan felt a pang of guilt, so it really was discovered. If I explain, it'll be a hassle. Let's just gloss over it. He forced a smile and waved his hand. I'm not really sure how it suddenly appeared on Trulum. This is armor. It looks like an effect from an attached potential. No wonder you dared to take on the role of the vanguard, Lu Vi asked in disbelief. You're still not at rank D. Could it be that you awakened earlier, Chu, then avoided my gaze? I guess that's it. Trulum was frustrated. When he joined the team, he said he had no potential, but it turned out to be a lie. Lu Vi, being considerate, explained that he was a freshman and didn't understand the rules. Very few people awaken their potential early. She looked at him and advised if you have potential, you must mention it when looking for a team. That way you won't face discrimination. Because team members who can take on the vanguard are highly sought after. Chuthan nodded. I remember now. He sighed tiredly, but we have to form a team for the mission. Most of the enemies we just encountered have already been killed by them, resulting in considerable soul loss for us. If only I could enter the waterhole alone, that would be great. Then I wouldn't have to worry about someone riding a monster. The system displayed the number of souls, 810. Chuthan worried if there would still be a chance to reach 2,000 points. Is it necessary to level up again? Observing from a distance, Tohan was astonished. He never expected the team to be revived by a rookie of rank E whose strength was mediocre, but the leadership was excellent, making him more suitable as a team leader than Li Dui. She thought to herself, no wonder Lumun said they had to pull him into the team with this speed. The test will be completed soon. Tohan looked suspiciously at Li Dui about this guy. Why did he have to hide his aura and sneakily follow the team? What exactly does he want? The guy was exuding a terrifying killing intent, and Trulum suddenly froze. Lu Vi guessed there was no way forward. It seems this is the final area, she wondered. But why is there nothing here? Lu Vi was puzzled. Could it be that this mission has no boss, or have we already killed the target? Unbeknownst to her, Trulum firmly denied it. No way. If the target had been killed, the waterhole would have started to close. She was confused, scratching her head. It really is a headache. The test isn't considered complete yet. Until the waterhole closes, Liu V skeptically suggested, could it be that we've encountered a very rare special case? Chu then used his senses. He immediately noticed something unusual. Chu then shouted nervously above us. A giant monster suddenly swooped down, causing a significant shock in an instant. True Lum was horrified, so it turns out it was lying in ambush for us. Through the thick fog, the appearance of the monster gradually emerged. The leading monster appeared along with several smaller monsters. True Lum's face turned pale. What the heck is this? Before them stood 3 giant shadow wolves of rank D, and leading the group of monsters was a rank D stone wolf. Tohan panicked and shouted for everyone to fall back. The test was paused, and the potential was released, startling her. Senior Tohan was in a panic, gritting his teeth. 3 elite-level monsters and 1 boss-level monster. This difficulty has exceeded the scope of the test. When checking the level of the waterhole, there was clearly no fluctuation in the spiritual energy. It should be high, right? But with this situation, based on everyone's current strength, we can't handle this. For now, we can still move. If it's already late and there's still fighting, I fear I won't be able to protect everyone anymore. Chu was calculating the 3 elite monsters and 1 boss. Their soul points must be very high. Just wait and see, but if I'm alone against them, the danger is too great. Suddenly a notification popped up, and he realized there was a mission. After receiving the fragment, this was the first time I had received that mission wish. The information board displayed the mission wish to obtain the soul of the rock wolf, which was still incomplete. Leaving the rift is considered abandoning the mission, and the one holding the authority will be punished for violating the pact. Chu wondered if just leaving would incur a penalty. He recalled the reminder from the Dark God. Once the contract is signed, any intention to resist will result in punishment and torture until death. Chu felt a bit frustrated. Was this trying to block his escape? He glared in anger, thinking that this condition was set just to force him to fight. He realized he had been tricked and involuntarily laughed. Chu rolled up his sleeves and told his senior, "Let me take a look." Tohan was horrified and stepped back. Could it be that Chu was using a demonic skill on him? He firmly asserted that these monsters were his. On the system board, information appeared. Authority holder, Chu. Human bloodline, deceiver. Potential, not unlocked. Level E level 6, physique. 30 strength. Not agile, no spirit. No spiritual armor has not been unlocked. Sensing the fragment of Kyra's demonic armor. Remaining wish of the Dark God, 993 souls, 810 at this moment. Chu was facing off against 4 giant beasts directly. Tohan panicked and tried to stop him, saying, "Don't be foolish. Fighting 4 at once against boss-level monsters is no joke." True Lum, seeing this, reassured Tohan. "Let's just go for it. I believe the new student isn't the type to do something foolish." She felt helpless and continued, "If the students insist even in a life-and-death battle, the judges must respect their wishes. I hope you all understand what you're doing." Over here, Chu spoke seriously. "Everyone else should get out of the way." "Leave this to me," he said. Lu Vi couldn't help but worry, reminding him not to push himself too hard. If it doesn't work, we should retreat together. He thought to himself that just by looking at their aura, he could tell these guys were stronger than usual. Without the protection of the demonic armor, he might have already lost his life with just 1 hit. But why didn't he feel scared at all? Thinking about this, Chu unconsciously smiled. After all, compared to that guy behind him, these monsters were still far behind. A sudden beast roared, and they charged in unison to attack. Chu immediately used his sensing skill. In an instant, he had escaped the sharp claws of the monster, easily dodging its deadly blows. The critical hit of the opponent was hiding behind a rock, and Triulam exclaimed in amazement, "Incredible, facing 4 elite monsters and not being at a disadvantage. How could the potential of a pioneer be this formidable?" "Wow," Luvi interrupted, "but compared to the captain, it's not quite like this." Tohan added in shock, "I heard that after a deceiver awakens their powerful potential, they must complete a solo battle with the elite. But this is the first time I've seen someone fight an elite with just their bare hands." "I can't even guess what level of potential Chu has anymore," she said, sweating in panic. "But even like this, it's still not enough. Elite monsters are not that simple." At the same time, Chu was doing his best to dodge the attacks of this giant wolf. Its speed was nearly as fast as his. If he wanted to deal with one, he could manage, but facing all four at once was still too dangerous. If he kept wearing himself out like this, it would just be a waste of energy. If we keep wasting energy like this, it's just going to be pointless. You need to quickly reduce the numbers. He resolutely declared that we should capture the king before the soldiers. Chu attacked directly at the head of a monster, and he was immediately overwhelmed by a dazzling light in front of him. Chu was tense, thinking of a full-force move. Even with the power of the magic armor, it couldn't break through the defenses. The monster quickly used its special skill, the active armor, and all its wounds healed in an instant. Chu was astonished and asked if it could heal its own cracks. "You want to engage in a war of attrition with me? We need to find a way to break the deadlock." Li Jue, cowardly hiding behind a rock, was unbelievable, challenging 4 D-class leaders and not dying. How could that be? He suddenly laughed maliciously. It wasn't right if even he could handle it. This proved that this leader wasn't very strong. If it were me, it would be even easier, right? This position should have belonged to me. I'm the captain. I should be the one to kill the leader. It's all this new student's mistake. Thinking this, Li Jue tightened his grip on the sword without hesitation, charging towards Chu with fiery determination, thinking that if he pretended to accidentally kill him, then he could go kill the leader and rise to greatness. He excitedly shouted, "Die!" Before that strike, Chu calmly waved his hand, sending the sword flying. He looked at Li Jue with satisfaction, saying it was perfectly timed, then immediately dodged to the side. This directly scared Li Jue, who turned pale. He stubbornly activated his defensive enhancement, but it was too late. Li Jue didn't have the strength to withstand it and was immediately thrown away. He painfully slammed into a rock, his face turning pale as he cried out in agony. Li Jue's sword, propelled by inertia, flew aimlessly through the air, and Chu managed to catch it just in time. He concentrated his strength, gripping it tightly in his hand. Chu firmly asserted that he would win quickly. He poured all his soul points into agility. The system displayed that agility had been enhanced. 800 souls were consumed, raising agility from 0 to 5, and he received the swift combat skill. In an instant, Chu dashed away at lightning speed, decisively beheading the monster with a single slash. The notification rang out, and he received 750 souls. Chu smiled with delight. He was a bit surprised that increasing attribute points could also yield combat skills, not only gaining an additional 10 agility points, but he also received a rather strong passive effect. The notification stated that the exclusive Swift Combat skill increased agility by an additional 10 points based on current speed-enhancing power. Right now, at level 15, when Chu looked over at the monsters, he relied solely on this ability. Even my boss could easily take down 2 of them, having received 750 souls. To Han's surprise, his speed had increased. What on earth is going on? The monster, cornered, gritted its teeth in anger, but True Lum, frustrated, shouted, "Why is this guy following us here? It's such a hassle that we have to go save him." At that moment, the monster suddenly charged, and Lu Vi was startled to realize that Tu Lum was coming over. Trio Lum quickly stepped back, struggling. "Don't think we're easy to bully just because we're weak. Don't underestimate us. The moment the ultimate skill is unleashed, Chushan has already arrived in time." He gently called out to Trio Lum, "You look beautiful." With just one slash, he collected 750 souls. The total souls collected by Chushan reached 2,260. He sighed in relief, finally accumulating enough points, 2,000. A stubborn rock wolf charged at him, and Chushan said sternly, "Level up!" The system interface quickly displayed the level increase, costing 2,000 souls from E rank LV6 to D rank LV. A soul of 261 suddenly radiated immense power. Tohan was shocked, frozen for a moment. True Lum and Lu Vi gasped, unable to speak. The system announced that the authority had reached D rank. The potential has been unlocked. Tum Wen received the power to use it. Tum Wen can summon a domain. Tum Wen has completed the wish to level up to D rank. The exclusive skill reward the remaining wishes of the evil god, 992. Chushan coldly glanced back at the Death Touch. The exclusive skill can be summoned 4 times in the domain of Tam Wen. The Death Touch of the evil god possesses penetrating properties. 4 desperate beasts stared wide-eyed at Chushan, who showed no mercy and swiftly severed its head. The information panel appeared. The delegate Chushan belongs to the Human Deception D rank. Level 7 potential Tam Yuen physical strength, 30 agility 15, and spirit 0. The system notification sounded 5,000 souls received. Chushen was satisfied, thinking, no wonder it's a Lord-level monster. It yielded over 5,000 souls. Luckily, the Death Touch has a powerful penetrating effect. Otherwise, it might have taken much longer. The notification rang out rapidly. Mission Wish to eliminate the Rock Wolf King. Completed. Reward received Crystal of the Rock Wolf King, a rare material crystallized from the power of the Rock Wolf King. Holding it in his hand, Chushen felt a bit puzzled. A material reward, but it didn't specify how to use it. Then True Lum rushed over, asking, "Are you okay?" Lu Vi chimed in, "That's incredible. I can't believe you could take on a lord alone. Honestly, no one would believe it." She wondered if it was truly dead. "I wonder if it will tell us if there's a second phase," To-Han said calmly. The energy fluctuations of the stars in the water stain had stabilized. It seems the Lord is really dead. True Lum felt a pang of realization, meaning To-Han subtly acknowledged that they had passed the trial. 1,000,000, Lum exclaimed joyfully. "That's amazing. After all that fighting, we finally passed." "The new student is incredible." Lu Vi also happily hugged her. "I thought I'd never get through this test in my life." She momentarily felt emotional and bowed her head. "Thank goodness for the big boss helping out." "Thank you so much," Chushen said, feeling a bit shy. "Just call me Chu, that's fine." To-Han continued, "I will report the results of this test. Lu Vi and True Lum performed very well during this mission. According to the test regulations, the reward is 5 credit points." Lu Vi whispered, "We didn't do anything." "It was all thanks to you, new student." She laughed, shaking her head. "It's not entirely like that." "You both did your best." Knowing their own level, they proceeded step by step and did not hinder the group maintaining calm even when faced with unexpected situations. Until the very end, you didn't give up. That's commendable. And Chushen, your performance is the best I've ever seen in new students. An individual with outstanding abilities, strong leadership skills, and not to mention the achievement of defeating 4 lords alone. You will receive a perfect score of 10 for the basics. Then I'll give you 5 points from Li Du, totaling 15 credit points. Lum and Lu Vi gasped, exclaiming, 15 credit points! This is the highest score I've ever seen. Chushen politely bowed his head to thank the senior. She smiled and waved it off. No need to be polite. If it weren't for the mission restrictions, I feel like this score would still be too low. Over here, Li Du would not accept any rebuttal, saying, "On what basis do you take my credit points for him?" To-Han explained irritably, "Because you don't deserve this score. As the captain, you abandoned the team and your teammates during the battle, putting everyone in danger. Your actions are truly unworthy, and it even seems like you intended to attack your own team. According to the Academy's regulations, they will cancel your evaluation results and will not allow you to participate in the exam anymore." The guy panicked and questioned, "Based on what I just wanted to finish the match quickly." "You can't do that. I'm going to file an appeal." To-Han, annoyed, turned around and said, "If you have any objections, just file an appeal." She threatened, waiting for the higher-ups to send someone to thoroughly investigate the situation. "But that will only make things worse." Li Due was so scared he couldn't speak. To-Han turned to the others while the wound was still fresh. "Let's go back," they said in unison. A moment later in the office, To-Han announced, "I've sent the test results up and the rewards will be credited to everyone's accounts within 24 hours. They cheered joyfully, bothering the older sister, while Li Due couldn't help but feel disappointed and left the room with his head down. True Lum smiled and suddenly remembered, "Oh right, Chuthan. Can I add a contact method?" Lu Vi was also excited, saying, "If we can grab the mission, we'll contact you." To-Han stepped forward and reminded, "Ahem, Chu, then you probably don't have a guild yet, right? Why not join our guild, Yuan?" He wondered, "Isn't the minimum requirement to apply for a guild rank C?" She replied, "That's the requirement for larger guilds. For medium to high-level guilds like ours, there aren't many restrictions. With your strength, you could negotiate a price of 3 million. Chuthan thought, 3 million? That seems to match the price that older sister Lum-Un offered. That's truly impressive." He politely declined. "Sorry, older sister, I haven't thought about it yet." To-Han awkwardly scratched his head. It's true that Lum-Un is his supervisor, and his goal must be the Manhwa Guild. She hesitated and said, "Is that so?" "I want to." "That's too bad then. However, we welcome you any time when you decide. A familiar voice suddenly rang out. Looks like the test went smoothly, huh? Chuthan was a bit surprised to recognize older sister Lum-un. However, we always welcome you to share your thoughts at any time. A familiar voice suddenly rang out, and it seemed the test was going quite smoothly. Chu was a bit surprised to recognize his senior Lum-un. She smiled warmly. Chuthan, I'm here to pick you up. What are you two doing? Tohan felt a bit sad and brushed it off. It's nothing. Just congratulating Chuthan on finishing the test. In the distance, Trio Lum waved cheerfully. See you later. He approached and asked, Are you waiting for me? Lum-un gently admitted, Yeah, I just didn't expect it to be a bit quicker than planned. I've moved your luggage to the dorm already. Let's go. I'll take you there. The scene shifted to a spacious room. Lum-un introduced, This is your dorm. Later, when you have more courses, you can apply for a better dorm. Chuthan looked up in amazement. This is already really nice. He suddenly turned to her and said, Oh, I just remembered I completed the test. Then you should explain why you invited me to join. This made her a bit awkward. Miss Lum-un, do you really have to tell him? She reassured, It's fine. If I've chosen to recruit Chuthan, then I trust him. Besides, Chuthan has passed my test, so he has a reason to silence those people. Chuthan was puzzled about those people. Lum-un explained, To put it simply, I'm currently the official heir of the guild, but that's only because my father was the previous head. So in reality, this alliance has long been divided into 3 factions, each vying for the right to inherit. To secure my inheritance, I need to rebuild a branch. The guild members belong to me, and because of this, I need your help. Chu, you quickly realized what was going on. So the people in the guild weren't trustworthy from the start, right? But why do you trust me? She replied honestly, I've observed you interacting with the guild and the Black Water area. It's truly impressive. Your simplicity and the way you wield your power are what I value. Moreover, there's still one more important thing, Lam An asked straightforwardly. You're in deep debt, aren't you? She continued, I've secretly investigated. Although I found out your debt is with a small organization in Roy City, in reality, this organization is run by a large lending company. And they collaborate with the central high level. They can exploit their power to steal and interfere with others' information, especially pawns like you. Those who can repay their debts, even if you eventually pay off this huge amount. You will still be under their control, and they might use various tactics to force you to work for them. However, it's quite a coincidence. My opponent happens to be the owner of this company. Join me, and I can help you restrain them and protect your information from being exploited. Furthermore, once I defeat them, we will help you erase all unfavorable documents. By then, you will be truly free. Our interests align. At her words, Chu was momentarily lost in thought. Having a powerful guild support, it would indeed be much safer, not to mention the guild offers many privileges and conveniences. Who knows, I might need to use such good things in the future. I have no reason to refuse. After thinking, he quickly made a decision. If the senior needs me, I am willing to contribute my strength. But specifically, what do I need to do? Lam-an clapped her hands. Great! But there's no need to rush. Just follow the next steps that you arrange. She immediately turned to call her sister. The other party answered as usual, yes. The phone notified Chu that 5 million had been received. He was startled glancing at the 5 million. Is it really just transferred like that? Lam-an continued. The minimum contract level of the guild is Class C. This 5 million is proof of my sincerity. The rest will be resolved after you officially sign the contract with the guild. I have high hopes for you. It's getting late. You should go rest well. If you need anything, feel free to contact us. Chu felt relieved. All right, you both have worked hard. Soon after the dormitory door was closed, Chu lay down on the bed, exhausted, finally getting a bit of rest. Now he needed to sort out what he had received today. After leveling up to Class D, there are many new functions. I earned up to 5,000 souls to see if I can level up anything. Looking at the level up board and attributes, Chu suddenly paused. He wondered if the added potential option was related to potential attributes. Deep abyss, huh? Moreover, the souls needed to add points to potential are double compared to other attributes. The demand for leveling up has also increased significantly. It seems that as the level gets higher, the demand doubles, right? If I use everything to level up, it doesn't seem very effective. Moreover, leveling up attributes will receive new combat skills. If I increase agility, I will receive swift. Chu pondered. Let's add 5 points to potential and see. The information board quickly displayed Deep Abyss. The Death Touch exclusive combat skill increased from level 1 to level 2. The number of summons for Death Touch has increased to 6. I have received the exclusive combat skill, Deep Abyss. The exclusive skill unlocks the storage function, allowing me to store my items in the Deep Abyss. Level 1 storage capacity is 160. Chu clenched his fist. Indeed, leveling up potential will enhance all skills. He was satisfied and immediately tested the new skill. The system displayed storage level 1-3 out of 160 bottles of water. Like glass shards of magma, the magic of Pedra was taken out. All obtained items will be stored here. And it could also be taken out casually later, making it much more convenient to bring things along. Chu was a bit surprised. What was this A status upgrade for storage attribute enhancement? The exchange shop can't upgrade without any upgrade items, and since there aren't any important items yet, let's not worry about this for now. What I'm looking forward to even more is the instant display of the exchange shop. It shows the Soul Exchange Shop with 3,660 items, low-level recovery potions, 100 low-level stamina potions, 100. Low-level weapon sword, 1,100 shield, 1,100, great sword, 1,500 kite, 1,700 low-level gauntlet, 1,200 low-level battle axe, 1,500. Chu was momentarily amazed. There were quite a few items, and you could even buy weapons. Considering today's battle weapons are indeed very important. I spent 1,500 souls to buy the low-level great sword. Even a standard weapon at school costs several tens of thousands. If the weapon is refined, the price would be sky high. I wonder what the quality of the weapons in the shop is like. Having bought the low-level great sword, holding it in his hand, he felt a surge of hope. The grip felt good, but more than 5,000 souls had quickly dwindled to just 2,160 souls. Not only is it used for upgrades, but the shop also consumes it. It's really expensive. I'll have to be cautious with the remaining amount. The Dark God was momentarily startled. This aura is Chu. He was immediately frightened, scared to death. He smiled smugly, feeling the potential of the abyss. Not only can it store items, but it can also summon this name to fight alongside me. The Dark God felt a pang of guilt. I didn't expect to be able to use the abyss so quickly. Have you figured out how to upgrade? Chu acknowledged. Yeah, I have a test today. Thankfully, I returned safely from the crack. The Dark God frowned slightly upon hearing this. It's only been a short while. This is truly surprising. He couldn't help but feel hopeful, but it was also good to reduce my burden. If I could enter the water crack, it would be time to push you to work. A moment later, at the level assessment department, Chu sat quietly in a chair with a group of people. The Dark God wondered what he was doing there. He replied, I'm waiting for a potential assessment. Don't you want me to go through more cracks? After receiving the assessment and certification, finding new missions would become much easier. A female staff member announced, Next student Chu, please come forward. She cheerfully started a conversation. I've looked at your file. You're a first-year student who just arrived this year, right? Chu acknowledged. That's right, she continued. Not many people achieve D-grade awakened potential at this age. Since you're a first-year student, you probably still don't fully understand the assessment. Is that so? Let me explain a bit for you. This device will detect the rarity level of your potential and distinguish them by color, categorized into 5 types from low to high: copper, silver, gold, platinum, and legendary. The higher the rarity, the greater the potential and space for development. However, if you receive a very low rarity, there's no need to be sad. The future still has the possibility of a second awakening to turn things around. In the distance, a man excitedly shouted, Great! I'm at the silver level. The teammate of the same age replied, And I'm at the copper level. The female staff member began to guide him, handing him a black card, then placing his hand on the device. It would be done very quickly. Chu quickly followed the instructions, and a massive amount of radiant light suddenly shone on the column. The female staff member was astonished, her eyes wide in disbelief. Why is the color so unpredictable? It should have been recognized immediately. The testing board. She was momentarily stunned. At that moment, the device suddenly emitted a strange beam of light. The test board left her momentarily stunned as a beam of distorted light suddenly appeared from the device. A massive wave of power radiated from his body, scaring the people around him. Hey, look over there! What's going on? The energy is fluctuating intensely. What kind of potential is this anyway? I feel an overwhelming pressure. I can barely breathe. The female staff member thought to herself, this is the first time I've seen such a strong fluctuation during the test. What kind of potential is this? The announcement rang out and she immediately became flustered. The purple level in the 6th rank doesn't have this kind of color. Moreover, the potential called pseudo seems to be a name for a profession. Hearing this, Chuthan wondered about the name of the profession, and the female staff explained that Du-Than is the first awakening. Normally, an incomplete name of a power would only show the skill name like Fire Blaze or Wind Fury. Only after the 2nd awakening would the profession names like Fire Blaze Warrior or Wind Fury Mage be displayed. This is what we call a complete Du-Than. Yet you received a profession name right from your first awakening. How could this happen? The department head noticed the anomaly and immediately rushed over. What was that chaos just now? She realized confused that the head was pointing toward Chuthan. It's the test of this student. I wonder if the machine has any issues. But his potential level is purple, and the potential is also named pseudo, just like the name for the 2nd awakening profession. He exclaimed in astonishment. What? Let me see the test report. The test data showed no errors, and moreover, this device isn't from our world. So there's no way it could misjudge. That means, no mistake, this is indeed a purple level, a new rank. The department head immediately reported clarifying that the device had no issues and that the potential name is pseudo with a purple rank. I understand now. The female staff hurriedly brought over a black card. The head has finished writing this. He nodded slightly. Good. The head turned to Chuthan. This card is yours. Your name is Chuthan, right? Your potential level is a color that has never appeared in history before. Due to the limited information, the specific ranking is still unclear. Therefore, the higher-ups have decided to temporarily classify your potential level as unique. Your potential pseudo is also worth our research. In the future, we will evaluate based on your performance. After gathering more information, we will provide an accurate assessment. Looking at the card in his hand, Chuthan wondered, could the purple level be because of the fragment of creative power? The people around him were buzzing with excitement. A unique level. That sounds impressive. It's just a new level, though. It might not be that strong. What if it ranks lower than bronze? But that title, pseudo. Just hearing it sounds extraordinary. Over here, Chuthan's face was blank. He thought it sounds impressive, but isn't it just the boss's hype? At least I managed to get the certification smoothly. Now it's time to take on some missions. A moment later in the mission hall, someone approached and struck up a conversation with Chuthan. Hey, you seem a bit lost. Are you looking for a mission? A moment later in the mission hall, someone approached Chu saying, Hey, you seem a bit lost. Are you looking for a mission? He smiled and introduced himself. I'm Trung Hao and I need one more person to complete a mission to collect 10. Do you want to join? Chu asked about the mission, and Trung Hao quickly pulled out his phone. That's right. The target is to mine minerals, and it has been checked beforehand. It's very safe. Although the credits are less compared to the extermination mission, it's much safer and pays better. Chu felt pleased, thinking each person in the group of 4 would receive 2 credits. And 50,000 G, there's no reason not to do something this good. He immediately agreed. I'm in. Trung Hao happily threw his arm around him. Great. First, go to the post and accept the mission by downloading the official app of the school here. Register Find the Post and click to join. Everyone looking for a team posts here. It's really convenient, right? Once that's done, let's go. He cheerfully led him to the crowd. I found someone. The other party responded with satisfaction. Finally, let's go. Congratulations. Chu asked Trung Hao. Is there no supervisor for our mission? Is it safe? He honestly replied. That mission is free during the testing phase, just for new students. All other missions require a fee and a hired supervisor. Our mission isn't difficult, so we don't need to hire someone. They quickly entered the mineral cave. Here they marveled. It's truly magnificent. I've never seen such a large mineral vein. Chu excitedly praised. It's absolutely beautiful. Suddenly he was startled. This feeling, it was awkward. He called out, Hey, Chu! Habitually looking at the mission board, he asked, Do you have any new requests? The mission request has been received. Within 1 hour, collect at least 150 minerals. Exceeding the time limit will be considered abandoning the mission, and the delegate will be penalized for violating the contract. Chu understood. so this is a collection mission. He happily said, the mineral energy here is very rich. I can absorb the energy to recover. With luck like this, it's already good. He happily said that the mineral energy here is very rich, and I can absorb it to recover from the first trip, especially with such good luck already. You really need to do your best. Trung Hao handed Chushin an axe and said, I have plenty of tools, so I'll lend you this one. Hurry up and finish your task so you can submit it. Chushin politely accepted it. They worked together to gather the mineral essence. Truong Hao turned to chat, surprised at how strong Chushin was. Could it be the potential strength within him? Chushin nodded in agreement, his eyes lighting up. That's really great. The potential for that kind of attack will definitely be useful when forming a team. Since my potential to improve my vision is useless in combat, I can only focus on gathering tasks. The Dark God suddenly called out, Hey kids, stop talking. I can't absorb these mineral essences. Did you do something wrong? Hearing this, Chushin was startled. What? The system notification says I don't have ownership, so I can't absorb it. Chushin was shocked to realize it was true. Even Thumb Ween couldn't gather it. Is it because these things don't belong to us? Trung Hao thought so and urged, Let's do this. Looking at those minerals, are you secretly planning to take them? I advise you not to do anything foolish. Everything here belongs to the school, and if you take anything without permission, you'll face serious consequences. Chuthin fell silent for a moment. Everything belongs to the school. No wonder I couldn't take anything. This task only gives me 1 hour. How am I supposed to find the minerals in such a short time? I shook my head in frustration. I don't know. The mission has been assigned already. You can only think of a way yourself. Suddenly, a strange phenomenon appeared on the ground. Trung Hao shouted in shock. What's happening? Is there an earthquake? A person rushed over to report, Look over there, it's the Vung Trung Thuk Tin. Didn't they say this mission was 100% safe? The Vung Trung Thuk Tin nests in mineral veins and is extremely sensitive to them. Our mining activities must have angered it. Forget about the minerals. Retreat the way we came. Amid their panic, Chu Than hesitated a bit, realizing the mineral vein was their nest. The Vung Trung Thuk Tin chased closely after them as they fled. Hurry up! Chu Thun was the last to run, and it quickly caught up to him. He shot a cold glance at it. Without hesitation, he pushed his teammate ahead of him. It turned out to be Trung Hao, who immediately lost his balance and fell face first to the ground. Trung Hao shouted in panic, Chu Thun! Tatan kept mocking him. You're too careless. How could you be hit by a monster of this level? Chuthin, caught in the monster's mouth, fought back while replying, I was intentionally caught. He calmly explained, The senior said this creature nests in mineral veins, so its nest could have quite a few reserves. If it's a mine that even the school doesn't know about, then we don't need to hand it over to the school. After saying that, Chu Than attacked the monster and jumped out of its mouth, looking around. At this moment, Tathan excitedly exclaimed, Wow, so many crystals, you really guessed right. But the situation after that explosion made it hesitate. However, you've invited quite a few guests this time. Chuthin wasn't afraid. I was upset that this mission wouldn't yield any souls looking at the monsters before me, as if achieving my previous wish. It was a great opportunity to test the limits of the death touch. Chuthan quickly ordered a series of claws to rush in and attack. This mission has a time limit. We need to win quickly. After that, all that could be heard was the system continuously announcing 120 souls collected. Tathan observed and praised even though it could only activate 6 tentacles. But through continuous release to launch attacks from all angles, the effectiveness was not bad. After handling it, Chu then carefully analyzed the effectiveness of the death touch. It was much faster than doing it personally. The only drawback was that it couldn't be used too much. Just then, the system displayed a warning that your mental power was about to reach its limit. Warning, excessive mental consumption may lead to fatigue feigning, or even death. Chu then felt exhausted at that moment, even though the combat skill had no cooldown time. But each use consumed mental power. Chu Than was secretly pleased, but just then, the small monster had been cleaned up. He quickly drew his mirror and activated it swiftly, having collected 7,000 souls. Chu then offered a few compliments, saying the performance was not bad. This battle was fairly stable. Chuthin incredulously asked, Is this serious? You still have a long way to go. Let's get to work before the water stains from the gems dry up. The amount they received was trending upward. Tentacle number 3 had stopped. Hurry up and dig. The amount of money they received was trending upwards. Tentacle number 3 has stopped. Hurry and dig it out. The mission requires collecting at least 150 mineral crystals within a time frame of 80 out of 150. If not completed, it will be considered a failed mission and the assigned person will face consequences. They will incur a penalty for breaching the contract with 3 minutes and 24 seconds left. Chu is still trying to speed things up, focusing on numbers 4 and 5 as benchmarks for the tentacles. Number 2 is still a bit short. Let's dig it out completely. Chu is pondering. This time he has earned 13,000 soul points, plus about 2,000 remaining points, totaling over 15,000 points. Indeed, playing solo is still the way to go for soul points. 160 secondary stamina potions are gradually restoring his stamina and mental energy. After upgrading agility and potential to level 5, he received a combat skill this time. He must try to improve other attributes, but the level and physique matter. Since he's consumed too many souls, he can only choose to increase one of these two. 3 upgrades with physique yield no rewards. Could it be that the position is too high? Comparatively, the benefits of enhancing strength and spirit are much clearer, and the combat skill acquired is quite powerful. He has activated the holding breath technique. Chu feels very satisfied. Especially the holding breath state can be considered a resting state. As long as he doesn't engage in emotional activities combined with wide area attacks, the death touch while standing still may not consume the combat skill. This is truly a divine level system that suddenly caught his attention. Speaking of which, what effect does this divine consciousness have? Chu carefully examines physique strength and agility, which are quite understandable, while spirit and potential relate to combat skills. These attributes are all relevant to fighting. But the divine consciousness is completely unpredictable. What is it used for? He decides to take a risk, still having a bit of soul left to see. Having consumed 800 souls, he received the combat skill, Eye of Authority. It turns out that divine consciousness is an attribute related to information, so it can gather information. This is also a very important skill. Meanwhile, the system also reports that the insect essence has died within the monster's corpse. Suddenly, a flash of light. This color returns to the main task. Chu continues to command tentacle number 6 to dig it out. Then it brings back an item for Chu. He is also curious about what this is. I feel something strange, but I can't quite understand it. While he is still carefully observing this thing discovering from within the corpse of the Lord, the system explains about this purple item. Mutated crystal, a special material, an enhancement material possessing fragments of Kedra's magic armor, can upgrade. Chu ponders. This is the material to upgrade the magic armor. It can also be forcibly enhanced. The divine is too hesitant about the upgrade. Forging magic armor is extremely special, but the upgrade method must have been lost in transmission. What's wrong with you? Looking back, he urges the spatial rift is about to close. First, let's go back and tell everyone outside. Looking at the spatial rift, it's about to close, and everyone is worried. Quick look, the rift is about to close. Isn't this a resource collection mission? Closing means the Lord has died. It doesn't necessarily have to be the Lord. Some collection missions will automatically close when time runs out. Those inside what's going on, it seems they won't make it in time. Then a young man wearing a mask anxiously says, "Why haven't any rescue personnel been dispatched after half an hour?" The organizing staff hesitantly responds, "Because the nest of the real insect king is very complex and sophisticated. So, if not explored beforehand, it's easy to get lost. Moreover, being swallowed by the real insect king survival isn't guaranteed. So no one wants to take such a risk." The young man in the blue shirt trembles and blames himself. "It's all my fault for pushing this mission onto Chu. If it weren't for saving me, his fate wouldn't be so uncertain." At that moment, another person in the team shouted, "Oh my God, look, something's coming out!" Hearing that everyone started whispering, could it be the person attacked by the Bug King? Didn't that guy get swallowed by the Bug King? How could he possibly escape? The real question is, how could he still be alive? Without any equipment, how could he have made it out? Chujin stepped out, looking surprised at how many people were there. Seeing the guy in the blue shirt rushing over, he exclaimed, "Great, Chujin, you're still alive. Are you okay? How did you escape?" Chujin reassured him, "I'm fine. I was really lucky. I just got stuck in the bug's teeth. I managed to escape from its mouth and then relied on my hazy memories to find my way out of the cave." It's just a pity I didn't have time to grab any equipment or minerals. Actually, after they discarded the mineral ownership, I went to complete the mission." The guy in the blue shirt felt relieved. Equipment was just a minor issue. As long as he was okay, that was what mattered. "Let's finish the mission. I'll treat you to a meal." The mission goal was to collect at least 150 minerals in 1 hour, and it's done. He received the reward of crystallization from the Bug King. Meanwhile, at the hospital, Chu Yue-ching was in a daze staring at the empty hospital bed. "Where's my mom?" Chu Yue-ching rushed outside. "Nurse, where's my mom? The patient in this ward." "There's nothing here. Where did my mom go?" The nurse hurriedly explained. That patient has been transferred to the intensive care unit." Chu Yue-ching felt confused. "Isn't the VIP room for those with power and wealth? How could she be there?" The nurse recounted what had just happened. "The principal of the school helped cover 6 months of medical fees for your mother and got her into the intensive care unit. I heard that kid helped with the paperwork. Temporarily, she can't wear anything." "But could it be him?" Chu Yue-ching's face turned pale. "Could that kid be the one who—" At that moment at home, Chu-jen was admiring a new feature that had consumed 3,000 soul shards from Kedra's armor, and the upgrade was complete. Kedra's armor shards, plus a unique weapon, received the enhancement property of the evil god. He was completely astonished, not expecting the shards to hold such creative power. There's even a method for further upgrades. This is truly surprising. Chu-jen was satisfied having received a lot today. Inside his storage, there were also 2 crystallizations from the mission reward. There might even be materials for further upgrades in the storage. Chu-jen looked at the messages and thought that if he continued to complete missions, he might find a way to use them. He had transferred 3 million out of the 5 million he received from his senior sister Lin-en to send to Principal Ho for his mother's care. The remaining 2 million had been used to pay off a small debt, so he could breathe a little easier for now. The rewards from completing missions were enough to cover daily expenses. Once he could take on higher-level missions, paying off all debts would just be a matter of time. The important thing is whether Liu can escape successfully or not. Although I trust my senior sister Lin-en, the situation might be more serious by then. I need to become strong enough. To protect himself and those around him, Chu-shen read the notification aloud. "You still need to clear more cracks. It's best to go alone and check the recruitment posts at school to see which ones are available." The dark god was rambling mindlessly about a human dish called chicken. "This fried chicken is really delicious. The D-rank extermination mission needs 3 people, but 1 is missing. Our 3-person team will lead you to victory. The main task is missing 2 people who can deal damage prioritizing ranged attackers. The team has 2 frontliners, and the gathering mission prioritizes monster elimination needing damage dealers. The group consists of skilled members, so you can rest assured. The extermination team is missing 1, and it's all professional players looking for a skilled player." To quickly complete the mission and earn credits together, Chu-shen thought to himself that this post only recruits skilled players and team members can't steal monsters from these 3. This mission can't be completed. If the whole group is made up of noobs, it would be better. Chu-shen then realized the key issue: noobs. That's right. If I can't find a suitable team, I'll just create one myself. He drafted a recruitment post for team members to assist with unlimited tasks. After finishing, Chu-shen felt exhausted but also a bit distant, even though he didn't expect much. "But at least I have to try." The dark god skeptically asked if anyone would actually believe in such an absurd situation. Well, that's the end of it. Chu-shen pushed his phone aside to go to sleep. First, he needed to rest. "If not tomorrow, I'll just have to find another team." Early the next morning, the doorbell rang continuously, waking Chu-shen up feeling tired. "It's been over 10 minutes. What's going on?" He struggled to get out of bed to open the door. When he did, there stood a girl, the elder saying, "Finally, you're awake." Liu led a group of people and cheerfully greeted, "Good morning." Chu-shen was still confused. "What's going on?" Chu-shen looked at Liu, puzzled. "Why are so many of you here at my dorm?" She replied, "Elder, didn't you post looking for teammates for support? Everyone messaged you privately, but you didn't respond. Since I'm familiar with you, they asked me to bring them right to your door." After hearing this, he felt a bit guilty. "I left my phone on silent, not paying attention to the messages. I thought no one would actually believe in such unreasonable conditions. Deep down, I thought that scam messages and debt collection were really annoying. I looked at the line of people behind me sweating, and I was surprised there were so many. Liu Wei smiled and replied that low-level support players are limited in effectiveness, so everyone tends to look for damage dealers to finish the battle as quickly as possible. Right now, it's really hard for support players to find a team, so everyone is eager to meet him. One of them whispered, "Will this guy really help us get through? It feels as unreliable as I imagined, that's for sure." Relying on just one damage dealer to get through the water gap is something unheard of. It sounds like a scam. She turned around and told them, "Don't worry, I've already teamed up with the big shot." I can absolutely guarantee they felt awkward replying to that. A support girl spoke up questioning that. "Can we really get an equal share without having to do anything?" Chu replied, as long as everyone follows my lead and doesn't interfere with my actions." He finished his sentence and everyone rushed to talk to him. "My mission deadline is tomorrow. Can you do it for me first? My mission is even earlier, so I should go first." "No, mine is simpler. Just do mine first." "I was a bit hesitant to ask you at first. I didn't expect it to be this crowded. I just wanted to show off that I know you. With so many missions, which one does the boss want to tackle? Are you responding to this?" Of course, Chu smiled with a smirk and continued taking everything in. Then a tall building appeared against the dark sky, the Hang Thin group branch, with a powerful punch. It hit the subordinate's avatar, sending glasses flying and blood streaming from his nose. He angrily shouted, "You're the one with the worst performance in the group. You got me scolded by the higher-ups. What nerve do you have? Are you as tough as your face?" Then he angrily scolded Li Tuan, saying, "If you don't have money, come and collect debts. If you still don't have money, take the valuable parts off their bodies. If not, then grab some passers-by and sell them into slavery." "Do I really need to teach you this?" He glared at him, then adjusted his outfit, his voice full of rage. "Listen clearly. If you keep performing like this, then I'll replace you. At that time, whatever you owe the company, we'll take it back from you, including that kid. Do you understand the consequences?" Li Tuan just stayed silent, then stepped outside, feeling a bit unhappy. The two younger guys saw this and called out to their boss, one of them hesitating. "The injury on your face." But Li Tuan gently replied, "It's just a scratch." "It's fine," the younger guy added. "If we only rely on our current debt recovery performance, we really can't keep up with the other teams. Boss, should we expand like they do? We're only responsible for capturing people. The rest can be handled by others." Hearing this, Li Tuan hit him on the head, saying, "You mean you want to do those disgusting things like they do? Aren't you afraid your child will be born without an anus?" The younger guy hesitated, replying, "But if we don't do it like that, then they won't let you off the hook, boss." Hearing this, he felt it was true and added, "All right then. First, let's see if we can make money from other places before we talk about that hidden high-level name from before. The name is Chow Thon, right?" Li Tuan's pupils shrank in surprise, unable to hide it behind his dark glasses as he looked at his phone screen, thinking to himself that recent records showed it. Yet he had already paid back 20 million in one go, and he was accepted into the Bin Min Academy. I heard the tuition there is very expensive. This kid isn't just a poor ghost. How did he suddenly get so much money? Li Tuan smirked and mumbled, "I didn't expect him to be a big fish in the D-class monster area." A green-eyed tree monster charged at him. In the blink of an eye, it was taken down and a notification popped up. Received 12,000 souls for completing the D-class Level 2 extermination mission. Then, consecutively, the monster was pierced by a spike, and the system chimed in with another notification. Received 100 souls for completion, followed by the magma monster, all taken down in just a few simple moves. I took down everything and received 5,000 soul points. Mission complete. Looking at the system board, he mumbled to himself, "Thank goodness for them," as the souls he collected weren't few. First, he thought about leveling up some attributes while glancing at the leveling board. Randomly selecting other items prioritized for potential, the system notified him that he had leveled up too much, so Chu Shen received a new combat skill. He was a bit surprised by the terrifying origin. "Oh, there's a new combat skill." From a distance, a terrified scream rang out. "It's a blood demon! Where did this guy come from? We're surrounded." A call from another direction made them freeze. Chu Shen exuded a murderous aura. His deep voice said, "Who allowed you to touch them?" They felt his overwhelming pressure. It became terrifying as the system displayed a line of text. "Enemy's authority has entered a state of fear." Looking at it, Chushin thought to himself, the eye of authority. Even the smallest changes could be sensed. He quietly thought, let's try the new skill. A purple light emanated from Chushin's eyes as the system board displayed the exclusive combat skill, Terrifying Origin. An invisible pressure seemed to crush the blood demons. And, just like that, they couldn't withstand it and exploded in front of everyone. Liu Wei exclaimed in astonishment, is this a new ability? This is just too terrifying. The other person was equally astonished. No matter how many times they looked, it felt horrifying. Chushin remained silent, thinking, as long as the opponent feels fear, they can be controlled by me. Summoning the tentacles of the deep abyss is really convenient. However, this dungeon only yielded a few thousand souls, and clearly the enemy's strength wasn't low. No using thoughts was like being cut off by the system board that appeared. The line read, received 100 souls. The outdoor scene had mountains and trees. Liu Wei excitedly said, Elder, everyone has finished. We can go out and take on the mission now. There's no next mission, she quickly added. Everyone has completed their tasks. This time was really tough for you. You should rest well. If there's a new mission, we'll contact you again. Chushin glanced over and replied with a, as he transitioned to a small room sitting and pondering over the system board. The reason souls were becoming increasingly scarce might be due to the system's punishment mechanism to prevent him from easily leveling up in lower-tier cracks. It had been a while since he activated any missions. It seems he would have to tackle higher-tier dungeons. However, the Academy has very strict regulations regarding ranks. A D-rank Academy can't accept C-rank missions. Should he ask Sister La-Man for help? But this could expose his natural leveling ability. If he gets schemed against, it wouldn't be good. Suddenly, a notification beeped from his phone. Chushin looked at the screen, puzzled. There was a private message. A conversation displayed, Elder, I have a super easy mission for you. Just stay by my side for a day and I'll pay 100,000 G. He immediately declined. No, I won't be a personal bodyguard. Chushin looked at the enticing messages and thought to himself, 100,000 G isn't a small amount, but right now the most important thing is the crack. Later that person raised the offer to 300,000 G. Just as he was about to hang up, they hinted, wait a moment. Chushin was momentarily confused. Is this a joke? The other person continued to send messages. Actually, there's a wild water crack here, and I want to ask you to protect me. He was stunned for a moment. A wild water crack. The next day, rays of bright sunlight shone down on the entire area. The mysterious god asked, what are we doing here? Chushin rolled his eyes and replied casually, I have an appointment to meet someone here. I have a few things to confirm. A moment later, he saw the person in front of him and asked, are you the one who messaged me to request a mission? He hesitated, unable to speak. This. Suddenly, Lam Vu threw his arm around that person's shoulder and interrupted. The one you're looking for is me? You can leave now. This isn't your business anymore. As soon as the guy let go, he quickly ran back, not forgetting to shout loudly, sorry! Chushin was left dumbfounded, wondering what was happening. I really was fooled, huh? Lam Vu then broke into a strange smile. Kid, I know you've recently paid off 2 million all at once. Living the good life, aren't you? Just be honest and tell me how to make money, and I guarantee you'll be able to leave this place safely. Hearing that, he simply turned and walked away. With a sigh, he lamented that the plan to find a wild water source had failed. Where on earth could he find a higher-level water source? Feeling ignored, the guy took off his glasses and shouted, you little brat! You think you can just walk away? Lam Vu's pupils turned bright red, his voice dripping with malice. You're really looking down on me. He immediately used his pressure technique to prevent Chushin from leaving. At the same time, he reminded everyone that it had been a while since he had shown his authority, so someone had forgotten his name, Lam Vu. Surrounded by crackling red electricity, Chushin replied in a deep voice, I haven't heard that name in a long time. So you were the one charging me those outrageous interest rates, huh?